Chapter 668. Can't save her. Alright, I'm hanging up. Tang Yun didn't want to say anything else. Alright, I got it. Lin Yi smiled. Lin Yi was standing right beside Meng Yaro, so she heard everything Lin Yi said. Even she herself was in disbelief. She never thought that Tang Yun would call Lin Yi and ask Lin Yi to save her. Miss felt bad. She was a cold person on the outside but warm on the inside. Even if she was a little arrogant, it was formed after living in a family like this. It wasn't a big problem. She was a kind person. Miss felt guilty when she heard that Tang Yun was worried about her. If she were Tang Yun, would she ask Lin Yi to save her? Would she? She didn't know. In actuality, Meng Yaro would have asked Lin Yi to save Jianwen as well, just like the first time she met Jianwen at the theme park. Meng Yaro didn't like Jianwen's pursuit of her, but she couldn't just stand by and watch him die when he was acting up. From this point, it could be seen that Tang Yun and Miss had something in common. They were both kind-hearted people. Thank her for me. Miss wanted to thank Tang Yun before Lin Yi hung up, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. She waited until Lin Yi hung up. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi would be happy to see Miss target Tang Yun less in the future. When Lin Yi was on the phone, the parents didn't dare to disturb him. They had heard from Peng Zhan and Guan Shuamin that the person who saved Meng Yaro was this ridiculously young man in front of them. So when Lin Yi hung up, he was surrounded by the parents. Miracle Doctor, can you please take a look at my child? Don't hesitate to ask for the medical fees. As long as the chairman can afford it, we'll pay for it even if we have to sell everything we have. The parent thought that Lin Yi was a miracle doctor invited by Peng Zhan. Yeah. Please save our children. We won't let you do it for free. Another parent said. My family runs a company. Although it's not as big as Chairman Chu, we still have millions of assets. As long as you save my child, you can ask for as much as you want. A well-dressed parent also said. It's not that I don't want to save him, but I can't. Lin Yi had a headache and could only tell the truth. The parents froze, including Shuamin and Peng Zhan. They didn't know what Lin Yi meant by that. Couldn't be saved. Lin Yi doesn't want to make a move. Forbert, on the other hand, was guessing that Lin Yi might really have used his own qi to awaken Meng Yaro. However, this method had a huge impact on one's strength. If it wasn't someone important, no one would sacrifice their own strength to save someone else. Forbert was a physical practitioner. He didn't have qi in his body, but even if he did, he wouldn't use his own strength to save someone unless Peng Zhan or Meng Yaro were injured. But now, Peng Zhan and Shuamin were asking Lin Yi to save someone else. It was obvious that they were making things difficult for Lin Yi. Miracle Doctor, you can't just leave them to die. Yeah, that's not how a miracle doctor should act. The parents panicked, but they didn't dare to say anything too overboard. After all, Lin Yi didn't have any obligation to save them. They were complimenting Lin Yi, but at the same time, they wanted Lin Yi to save them. I've said it before, it's not that I'm leaving them to die. It's just that I can't do anything right now. Lin Yi shook his head. Can't do anything? But you've already saved Chairman Chu's daughter. Yeah, Miracle Doctor, didn't you already cure Meng Yaro? The parents didn't believe Lin Yi's words. They thought that Lin Yi was just refusing to save Meng Yaro. Oh no, Yaro sis fainted again. Yu Shu suddenly screamed, pulling Meng Yao's hand in panic. She looked at Lin Yi. Shield bro, come quick. Why did Yaro sis faint again? Yu Shu's scream startled Peng Zhan, Li Fu, and Guan Shuamin. The parents, on the other hand, didn't know what to do as they looked at the unconscious Meng Yaro, not knowing what was going on. You guys saw it for yourself. I didn't save her. I only woke her up temporarily. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. He grabbed Meng Yao's hand and checked her pulse. It was very weak, almost the same as when he first saw her. Even if she was a little stronger, it wouldn't be by much. Meng Yao's energy had been depleted, and there wasn't much left. But the good thing was that after fainting, her energy consumption was much slower than before. Even so, she wouldn't be able to live past tomorrow. The parents finally understood what Lin Yi meant. Lin Yi didn't actually cure Meng Yaro, he only woke her up. Yi, What's going on? Shuamin and Pengzhan looked at Lin Yi, not quite sure what was going on. Shield bro, what do we do now? Why did Yaro sis faint again? Is she going to be okay? Yushu was panicking. She'll be fine for now, but I still need to think about how to save her. Can you guys please leave? Lin Yi looked at the parents in the ward and said, after I find a way to save her, your child's symptoms will naturally be cured. Lin Yi's words made the parents feel more at ease. At least Lin Yi wasn't ignoring them. Since that was the case, they naturally didn't dare to disturb Lin Yi anymore. They quickly left the ward, giving Lin Yi some space to think. Pengzhan hesitated for a while and said, Yi, should we leave too? Not for now. Lin Yi shook his head. He was very anxious. Although Lin Yi was quite knowledgeable about poisons and antidotes, he lacked experience. Because of his years of training outside, Lin Yi didn't have much time to learn about poisons and antidotes. He had a body full of theoretical knowledge, but he didn't know where to start. Right now, he didn't know what poison Meng Yaro was poisoned with, and he didn't know where the source of the poison came from. He could only start from Meng Yao's body. If he was poisoned, how would the old man treat him? Lin Yi frowned and started thinking about the old man's treatment methods. When he was young, he was bitten by poisonous insects, and his life was in danger. At that time, the old man didn't know where the source of the poison came from, and he couldn't tell what the poison was from the symptoms. Chapter 669. Finally found a way. However, Lin Yi was a little discouraged. Acupuncture was a universal method, but the effect was different depending on the target. He was a practitioner, and his body and willpower were much stronger than a normal person. Hence, he could use acupuncture to expel the poison. The so-called acupuncture to expel poison was to use acupuncture to drive the genuine qi in the whole body, using the genuine qi to force the poison in the body to one place, and finally to expel it from the body through urine. This process was extremely painful, and it was very demanding on the physical fitness of the person being acupuncture. If the person could not withstand the genuine qi, they might die during the process of expelling the poison. Normal people couldn't use this method because the qi in a normal person's body was very small. The difference between a practitioner and a normal person was like heaven and earth. That small amount of qi was not enough to drive the poison in the body. Of course, if it was just a normal poison or a slow poison, it wouldn't be life-threatening. Even if the poison was expelled, it wouldn't require a lot of qi. Acupuncture or massage would be enough to achieve the goal. However, Meng Yaro was a normal person, and the poison was fatal. Lin Yi didn't dare to use this method at all. Maybe he could keep injecting energy into Meng Yao's body to prolong her life and bring her to see Old Fart? Old Fart would definitely have a way. Lin Yi suddenly had an idea. Injecting energy into Meng Yaro. His energy could be used by Meng Yaro. In other words, he could transfer energy into Meng Yao's body while expelling the poison with acupuncture. The qi in Meng Yao's body originated from his body. As long as he continued to transfer energy into her body, she wouldn't run out of qi. Lin Yi was overjoyed. He didn't think that he would have to rely on his own energy in the end. He had to thank Jiao Yazi and Jiao Laro for this. If it wasn't for him, Lin Yi wouldn't have known that his qi was so useful. However, after the happiness, Lin Yi was in a difficult situation. After all, to expel the poison with acupuncture, he had to take off all his clothes. However, Miss wasn't his girlfriend. If it was Tang Yun, it would be fine, but would Miss agree? Besides, it was impossible for him to take off Meng Yao's clothes when she was unconscious. After all, Meng Yaro had to cooperate when he was forcing the poison out. Grandpa Guan, could you please tell the hospital to prepare a fully enclosed ward for me? I'm going to perform acupuncture, and I need absolute silence. I can't be disturbed. Lin Yi said to Guan Shuamin after a moment of silence. Firstly, they were afraid of being disturbed, and secondly, they couldn't let anyone see Meng Yaro taking off her clothes, so they needed a fully enclosed room. No problem. Guan Shuamin nodded. If Songshan First Hospital was a public-private partnership, then Guan Shuamin's words wouldn't have much influence. However, Songshan Second Hospital was completely privately owned. This meant that his son, Guan Xiaoxiang, was the biggest boss of this hospital. Even the dean had to listen to him. Putting aside his prestige in the medical world, even if he was just a normal person, his words would still carry weight in this hospital. Guan Shuamin immediately called the hospital director. Soon, a ward was cleared out in the emergency room. It was a fully enclosed operating theater. Soon, the medical staff pushed Meng Yaro into the surgery room. Peng Zhan, Forbert, and Guan Shuamin didn't follow them in. Although Guan Shuamin wanted to know Lin Yi's acupuncture method, he could only give up the idea after hearing Lin Yi say that he couldn't be disturbed. I want to stay with Yaro Yaro, sis. Yu Shu didn't want to leave and ran into the surgery room. Shu, don't disturb Lin Yi's acupuncture. Come out now. Peng Zhan knew the relationship between Yu Shu and his daughter, but he had to show his authority as an elder. He didn't want her to disturb Lin Yi. I won't. Shield bro, are you kicking me out? Yu Shu looked at Lin Yi pitifully, but her tone was firm. I will stay with Yaro Yaro, sis. Ha, you don't have to leave. You can stay and help. Lin Yi didn't have the intention to kick Yu Shu out. After all, he was going to talk to Meng Yaro about acupuncture later. If Meng Yaro took it too hard, Yu Shu would be there to persuade her. Okay. Shield bro is the best. Yu Shu was happy. She could do something for Yaro Yaro sis now. Peng Zhan let out a breath of relief after hearing Lin Yi's words. He didn't have to worry about Yu Shu being Lin Yi's assistant. After all, Yu Shu would never harm Meng Yaro. She would do her best. Lin Yi walked into the surgery room and locked the door from the inside. The room was soundproof, and no one outside could hear what was going on inside. Shield bro, are we going to save Yaro Yaro sis now? What do you need me to do? Yu Shu asked urgently. When I do acupuncture later, I need Yaro Yaro to take off her clothes. But Yaro Yaro might feel pressured. Can you help me talk to her? Lin Yi said to Yu Shu. Oh, okay. Yu Shu nodded. But Shield bro, are you trying to use this opportunity to see Yaro Yaro sis body? Ha! Lin Yi smiled. I want to see. What's the point of discussing with her? I'll let you take off her clothes now. Oh, that's true. Yu Shu thought about it. She was right. Then what's the point of discussing? I'll take off Yaro Yaro sis clothes now. I don't care if she agrees or not. Let's ask her for her opinion. Lin Yi waved his hand to stop Yu Shu from continuing. He held Meng Yao's wrist and channeled the art of dragon mastery. The energy in Lin Yi's body surged into Meng Yao's body quickly. Not long after, Meng Yao's eyelashes moved. She woke up again. This time, she realized that something was wrong. I fainted again. Meng Yaro opened her eyes. She was in an unfamiliar room. It wasn't the isolation room. Luckily, the people in front of her were familiar people, Lin Yi and Shu. The energy in your body is being destroyed by the poison too fast. I can only transfer my energy to you to wake you up. But this is only temporary. If I stop, you'll faint again, Lin Yi said. Ah. Meng Yaro was shocked. So that was it. She thought she had recovered. What happened to me? You're poisoned, Lin Yi said. Chapter 670. Is Yaro Yaro sis pretty? Yes, I'll use acupuncture to force the poison out of your body, but I'll need your cooperation. Lin Yi said. How do I cooperate? Meng Yaro asked. Take off your clothes, otherwise I won't be able to do the acupuncture. Lin Yi said. Ah. No way. Meng Yaro was stunned and rejected subconsciously. Take off her clothes. She blushed. How could Meng Yaro agree to take off her clothes in front of Lin Yi? At the very least, she wouldn't be able to get over it. This was related to her chastity. How could she let a man look at her body so casually? You can treat me as a doctor. Lin Yi guessed that with Mrs. Personality, she wouldn't just take off her clothes in front of him. She was in pain even after drinking his drink. She was different from Yu Shu. Miss placed a lot of importance on this aspect. This was also why Lin Yi had to ask for Meng Yao's permission. He didn't want Miss to have a knot in her heart after this. Meng Yaro frowned. Lin Yi was right. He was a doctor now, but how could she treat him as a doctor? This was a complete lie to herself. If Meng Yaro let him see her naked body, how would she face him in the future? How would they live under the same roof? How awkward would that be? Besides, would she still want to get married in the future? Lin Yi was right. Meng Yaro was a girl who placed a lot of importance on her body. She wanted to give her future husband a pure body. Lin Yi shrugged and looked at Yu Shu. He would leave this task to her. After all, Meng Yaro would have to wait for a while before she fainted again. Lin Yi didn't say anything. He walked to a chair at the side and sat down, waiting quietly. Yaro sis, you have to take off your clothes. Be good, be good. Yu Shu knew that Lin Yi had given her this task. Naturally, she had to work hard. Hee. Meng Yaro couldn't help but find it funny that Yu Shu was talking to her like a little adult. She was usually the one telling Yu Shu to be good and obedient, but today it was the other way around. Shu, do you know that a girl's body can't be seen by a man? It's not that casual, I just want to show it to Shield Bro, it's fine, Yu Shu said. But that won't do either. Only my future husband can see it, Meng Yaro said. A girl's chastity is very important. We'd rather die than let people see it. I see. Yu Shu rolled her eyes, but her expression was one of regret. Yeah, that's why I said, let Lin Yi heal me with his clothes on. I won't blame him if he can't heal me, Meng Yaro said with a smile as she patted Yu Shu's hair. Then I'll help you undress, Yu Shu said as she moved to help Meng Yaro. Shu. Meng Yaro didn't expect that her best friend wouldn't understand what she was trying to say. He hurriedly stretched out his hand to stop her. What are you doing? Didn't I tell you already? A girl's body is very precious. You can only show it to your future husband. That's right. Shield Bro has seen my body, so I can only marry him and be his second wife. I'm the second wife, so you're Shield Bro's first wife. So, he's your future husband. It's fine to let him see it. At most, he'll see it in advance. Am I right? Yu Shu said confidently. Ah! Meng Yao's eyes widened. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Yu Shu's words, but Shu wasn't wrong. Lin Yi did see Shu naked. He even touched Shu's boobs and kissed her. It was quite intimate, but Yu Shu's theory of first wife and second wife was still a little hard for Meng Yaro to accept. Wasn't it too far-fetched? But Meng Yaro suddenly remembered that she said that she wanted to be with Shu forever and be a good sister forever. She felt a little dizzy. She didn't expect that she would overwork her brain and pass out again. Oh, Yaro sis, I'll take it that you're too shy to say anything. Yu Shu rubbed her hands together and started peeling Meng Yao's clothes off excitedly. It didn't take long before Meng Yaro was peeled off like a little lamb. Lin Yi didn't go over, but the surgery room was only that big. Lin Yi's hearing was amazing. He could hear what Meng Yaro and Yu Shu were talking about, but he didn't want to interrupt. He could only pretend that he didn't hear anything. Yu Shu, on the other hand, was taking off Meng Yao's clothes while she was unconscious. Lin Yi found it funny, but he didn't stop her. He could tell that the Miss psychological barrier had loosened a little, and it wasn't possible to convince her in a short amount of time. Yu Shu had already taken off her clothes, and Meng Yaro had no choice but to accept it. Shield Bro, come here. I've already stripped Yaro sis's clothes. Yu Shu called out to Lin Yi excitedly. She was no longer worried after knowing that Lin Yi had a way to save Meng Yaro. Lin Yi heard Yu Shu's words and found it funny. It was as if he was a gangster and Yu Shu was his accomplice, helping him to harm Meng Yaro. Lin Yi couldn't help but hold his breath as he walked over. Although he was trying his best to control himself, he was now a doctor and he couldn't let his imagination run wild, but the person in front of him was the Miss. How could he not let his imagination run wild? It would be a lie to say that Lin Yi didn't have any fantasies about the Miss. After spending so much time together, Lin Yi would definitely have some thoughts about the Miss and Shu. However, Lin Yi couldn't really steal the Miss's body, could he? Meng Yao's skin was fair and clear, and Lin Yi's eyes were fixed on it. He didn't want to look away. This was the first time Lin Yi looked at a girl's body openly. Although he had seen Shu's before, it was an awkward situation, and he didn't get a clear look. As for Lingshan, Lin Yi didn't dare to look too closely, but now he could look as much as he wanted. Shield Bro, does Yaro sis look good? Yu Shu noticed Lin Yi's weird expression and asked. Lin Yi wasn't stupid enough to fall for it like Jen Wen. He didn't say anything and took a deep breath to clear his mind. Let's get ready. Oh. Yushu was disappointed that she didn't get what she wanted, but she was happy at the same time. If Shield Bro was as stupid as Genwen, then Yaro Sis wouldn't like him. Chapter 671. What are you guys doing? Meng Yaro felt a chill on her body when she woke up. She quickly reached her hand out and realized that she was naked. She was furious. Shu. What did you do? Oh, Yaro Sis, you're awake. Yushu giggled as she looked at Meng Yaro. Shield Bro and I are going to treat you. Don't move, we're going to start. You. Meng Yaro was embarrassed and angry at the same time, but there was nothing she could do. She was already naked, and Lin Yi had probably seen everything. Meng Yaro was a little depressed. Although the reason Yushu gave was barely enough to deceive herself, shouldn't she at least give herself some time to think and accept it? Taking off her clothes just like that wasn't very nice. Yao, you might feel pain and fatigue when I perform acupuncture later. But you have to hold it in and don't move. Lin Yi didn't let the two continue arguing. He started talking about the things to pay attention to during acupuncture. Oh. Okay. Meng Yaro had no choice but to accept reality. She felt a little better when she saw that Lin Yi wasn't looking at her like a pervert. Instead, he was talking to her like a real doctor. You'll feel the urge to pee later. I'm forcing all the toxins in your body into your excretory system. Lin Yi continued. But you have to hold it in. Don't pee directly. Only tell me when you can't take it anymore. Ah. Oh. Meng Yao's face reddened instantly. How could she not be shy when talking about sex with Lin Yi? But she knew that Lin Yi was treating her, so she only nodded to show that she understood. Shu, when Yaro can't hold it anymore, use the disposable cup over there to collect the urine. Lin Yi pointed at the surgical equipment. Oh, can't I just pee on the floor? It's nothing, right? Yushu looked at the disposable cup. She felt that this was a difficult task. Could she complete it? I need to make an antidote based on the poison in Yaroiro's urine. There are still 27 unconscious students. I can't just leave them like that. Lin Yi said. Whether it's for Grandpa Guan's request or for Uncle Chu's company's reputation, I have to cure those 27 students. Oh, I know. Yushu nodded. Yaro sis, you have to tell me when you need to pee later. I'll go get the cups. Meng Yaro was very shy. She wanted to crawl into a hole and hide herself. Especially when she heard that Lin Yi was going to study her urine. But she was touched when Lin Yi said that it was for her father's company's reputation. Not only did he have to save himself, but he also had to save the remaining 27 students for the sake of his father's company's reputation. Lin Yi was just a shield that she hired. There was no need for him to do so much. He was only getting 30,000 yuan a month, but he was doing so many things that were beyond his salary. Whether it was her or Shu, Lin Yi would be the first one to appear if something happened. He seemed to be able to do anything. He was like an omnipotent babysitter. As long as Lin Yi appeared, she and Shu would be at ease. This was no longer the responsibility of a follower. Meng Yaro didn't know how to thank Lin Yi. At this moment, she would rather not have this employer-employee relationship with Lin Yi. Instead, they would be friends. However, if they were just friends, would Lin Yi care about her? Did he really treat her as his friend? Lin Yi, naturally, didn't know that the miss was worrying. He took out the silver needles and sterilized them with alcohol. He then said to Meng Yaro, "Get ready." "Okay." Meng Yaro responded. At this time, Yushu also took out a disposable cup and waited at the side. Lin Yi walked around Meng Yaro, trying to find a more comfortable position for him to apply the needles. However, no matter which side he stood on, it didn't feel right. This was because when Lin Yi used one hand to apply the needles, the other hand had to hold Meng Yao's hand and transfer the energy from his body to her. So, no matter if Lin Yi stood on the left or right side of Meng Yaro, it would be a hindrance. "Can you split your legs and let me stand between your legs?" Lin Yi hesitated and suggested to Meng Yaro. This was the only way it would be more convenient for Lin Yi to hold Meng Yao's hand while he applied the needles. However, this position was too ambiguous. Meng Yaro didn't wear clothes and split her legs, letting Lin Yi stand between her legs. It was like a man on top of a woman in a sport. Meng Yaro was startled. She was about to agree when she thought of this ambiguous position. Her face turned red instantly. She didn't know if Lin Yi did it on purpose. Why would he suggest such an embarrassing suggestion? However, Meng Yaro didn't believe that Lin Yi was a shameless person. If Lin Yi really wanted to do something to her, he had plenty of opportunities to peek at her in the villa. However, he didn't do that. This was also why Meng Yaro didn't have to worry about Lin Yi. Besides, if Lin Yi really had such dirty thoughts, Meng Yaro would be happy even if she was angry and embarrassed. She felt that Lin Yi finally understood that there was a girl better than Tang Yin in the house. Yeah. Meng Yaro replied weakly. She knew that there had to be a reason for the suggestion, so she didn't ask any more questions. She closed her eyes, her body trembling as she spread her legs apart. Okay, let's get ready. Lin Yi tried his best not to look sideways. He didn't want to see things that he shouldn't see. He walked over and stood between Meng Yao's legs. Oh! Yushu looked at Lin Yi and Meng Yaro curiously. Why were they in such a weird position? It seemed like they were doing something. Yushu suddenly realized something. She couldn't help but exclaim, "Shield bro, Yaro Yao, are you guys going to have sex?" Huh! Meng Yao's face darkened at Yushu's shout, and her body tensed up involuntarily. She pulled her legs in, clamping onto Lin Yi's thighs, but quickly pulled them apart upon contact. She'd done something so shameful. How was she supposed to live in the future? Chapter 672. Hold it in. Oh! Yushu shut her mouth quickly, not daring to say anything more after seeing the seriousness in the guy's voice. Let's see if I can get Lin Yi to do it one day. Lin Yi reached out with his left hand and held onto Meng Yao's right wrist as he started channeling the art of dragon mastery. Lin Yi could feel the energy in his body flowing into Meng Yao's body once more. In just a short while, half of the energy he had sent into Meng Yao's body was gone. This was the first time Lin Yi had transferred energy into Meng Yao's body when she was awake. Meng Yaro felt the same. She felt a warm current flowing into her body through Lin Yi's hand, and as the warm current flowed into her body, her tired body became energetic again. Meng Yao's eyes lit up. Lin Yi was not a normal person after all. She didn't know where her daddy found a person like him, but he was unbelievably strong. Would someone like him become her follower just for 30,000 kwai? But, before she could think about it, the needle in Lin Yi's hand had already pierced into Meng Yao's body. The long needle went in with a flash, and Meng Yao's heart skipped a beat as she watched, but she didn't feel any pain. Meng Yaro calmed down a little, relieved from her fear. You'll feel hot all over, it's normal. Don't be nervous. Lin Yi said as he quickly inserted the needle into Meng Yao's body. Yeah, it's a little hot. Meng Yaro saw the serious expression on Lin Yi's face and couldn't help but let go of her shyness. She tried her best to cooperate with Lin Yi. After all, Lin Yi was busy for her. Yushu, on the other hand, opened her eyes wide and stared at Meng Yao. Oh, Yaro Yao, your skin's turning red, like a lobster. Shoo, stop messing around. Meng Yaro glared at Yushu. Don't distract Lin Yi. Meng Yaro was infuriated. Lin Yi's eyes subconsciously moved to her body after Yushu said that, making Meng Yaro very embarrassed. Oh, sorry. Yushu blinked, embarrassed. Shield bro, you don't have to look at Yaro Yaro's body anymore, okay? You'll have plenty of chances to look at it later. Right now, the first task is to cure Yaro Yarosis, or else when Yaro Yarosis dies, you won't be able to see it. Yushu. Meng Yaro really wanted to kick Yushu into space if she wasn't lying on the bed. Let her go provoke the aliens. Oh, I don't know anything, and I didn't say anything. Yushu quickly shut up. Lin Yi couldn't help but laugh. This pair of sisters was really interesting, but he had to admit that Yushu and Yaro Yaro's relationship was really good. When Yaro Yaro was unconscious, Yushu was the most nervous one, but now that Meng Yaro could be saved, she started to laugh and joke around. Yaro Yaro, I want to feel the temperature under your armpit. This was Lin Yi's first time forcing poison out of someone, and it was a normal person at that. One could imagine how difficult it was. So every step, Lin Yi was extremely careful, not daring to make a single mistake. Otherwise, The consequences would be unimaginable. Ah. Okay. Meng Yaro pursed her lips. Although she was shy, she still nodded. Lin Yi stretched out his right hand and touched Meng Yao's armpit, but the moment his hand touched Meng Yao's body, Meng Yaro shivered subconsciously and moved her arm, squeezing Lin Yi's hand to the side of her chest. Lin Yi felt a burst of softness. It was very comfortable. Meng Yao's chest wasn't very big, it could even be said to be a little small, but a girl who was still in puberty couldn't use this as a standard. Maybe it would grow bigger in the future, but he had to admit that it felt good. Although Lin Yi was a little reluctant to move his hand away, he still resisted the urge to touch further. Once again, he reached his hand to Meng Yao's armpit, feeling the temperature of Meng Yao's body. Ian, it should be about time, we can proceed to the next step. Yushu's mouth moved, she wanted to say something, but after seeing Yaro's murderous gaze, she shut her mouth. Okay, we can proceed to the next step. Lin Yi put away the silver needles on Meng Yao's body, and then quickly inserted the silver needles on a few acupoints. You will feel a very strong pain later. This is the pure qi in your body forcing the poison together, forcing it into your excretion system. You have to endure it. If it is too painful, you can shout out. En. Meng Yaro nodded, and said firmly, I can endure it. After a while, Meng Yao's face contorted into a painful grin. She felt as if there were ants crawling into her body. These ants seemed to be moving something from her body towards her abdomen. This feeling was painful and itchy. It was very uncomfortable. She wanted to use her hands to scratch, but one of her hands was grabbed by Lin Yi, and the other didn't dare to move. She could only grit her teeth and endure it silently. Shoo, go grab Yaro's hand. Lin Yi could see Meng Yao's pain, how painful this pain was. Lin Yi couldn't remember, because the last time Lin Yi was poisoned was more than 10 years ago, but to Lin Yi, this pain to Lin Yi was nothing compared to the old man's torture. Oh, okay. Yushu quickly grabbed Meng Yao's left hand, said, Yaro, if you feel uncomfortable, you can squeeze my hand, I'm not afraid of pain. Ha! Meng Yaro looked at Shu, and forced a smile, I'm fine, it's not painful, I can endure it. However, anyone who saw Meng Yao's expression could tell that she was reluctant, because her expression betrayed her. She's fine, Lin Yi said faintly, I could endure this pain even when I was 9, not to mention she's already 19. Meng Yaro was a little annoyed, I'm a girl, okay? But thinking that although Lin Yi was a boy, he could endure it even when he was 9, he was still a kid at that time, he was even worse than a kid. So, Meng Yaro clenched her teeth, no, I have to endure it, how can I lose to a kid? Actually, Lin Yi said it on purpose to motivate Meng Yaro, otherwise, Meng Yaro wouldn't be able to endure it. I need to pee. Meng Yaro finally had the urge to pee, and said quickly. Chapter 673. It's raining again. Oh. Okay, I'll hold it in. Meng Yaro, of course, wouldn't let Lin Yi's efforts go to waste. Lin Yi's left hand continued to transfer energy as his right hand kept changing the acupuncture points. Meng Yao's face was getting paler and paler, and the sweat on her forehead was getting thicker and thicker. It was obvious that she was in pain. Yaro sis, you can do it. You're the best. You've always been Shu's idol. Yushu held Meng Yao's hand tightly as she cheered. Yeah. Meng Yaro smiled bitterly as her voice changed. Shu, I'm in so much pain. I know. If I could replace you, I'd rather suffer for you. Yushu said from the bottom of her heart. Ha, why would I let you suffer for me? It's lucky that I'm the one poisoned this time, not you. Meng Yaro smiled. Don't worry, I'm not that weak. It's painful, but I can hold on. Lin Yi had Yushu stay here for this reason. Yushu could talk to Meng Yaro without listening and cheer her on. She could also let Meng Yaro hold on. Otherwise, Lin Yi really wouldn't know how to persuade Meng Yaro. Meng Yao's need to pee was getting stronger and stronger, but she remembered Lin Yi's words. She couldn't just pee out easily. What if the poison couldn't be expelled? Not only would Lin Yi's efforts go to waste, but she'd also suffer for nothing. So Meng Yaro endured and endured, but there was a limit to how much she could endure. Finally, Meng Yaro couldn't hold it in anymore. I can't hold it in anymore, Shu. Quick. Oh, I'm coming. Yushu had put the disposable cup aside in order to hold Meng Yao's hand. She was panicking, but she couldn't find it. Where's the cup? Where's the cup? Where did I put it? Quick, Shu. I can't hold it in anymore. Meng Yarrow thought that Shu would come over with the cup after she talked to her, but Yushu lost it. Wasn't she just hurting herself? Found it, found it. I'm coming. Yushu finally saw the disposable cup on the ground behind her. She picked it up and ran over. Lin Yi, on the other hand, let go of Meng Yao's hand and stepped back after inserting the last needle. I can't take it anymore. Meng Yarrow was on the verge of bursting into tears. How could she hold it in any longer? He didn't care if Shu came or not, and he peed right away. Lin Yi had just taken 2 steps back when he felt a stream of water falling from the sky, drenching his head and face. Meng Yarrow, on the other hand, was so embarrassed that she wanted to find a hole to hide in when she realized that she had sprayed all over Lin Yi's face and body. He hated Shu to the core. How could she drop the ball at such a crucial moment? Meng Yarrow wanted to hold it back, but how could she? Once released, it would be like a flood bursting through a dam. He had already endured it for a long time. Lin Yi was also dumbfounded by this sudden scene. He stood there in a daze, staring at the miss with his mouth agape. Get out of the way. Meng Yarrow panicked. She saw that Lin Yi was still standing there, staring at her without blinking. Meng Yarrow almost fainted. Ooh! Lin Yi came back to his senses and quickly dodged to the side, smiling bitterly. This really was an eye for an eye. He had drenched Pinliang, Xiaofu, and Xiao Xiao, and now it was the Miss' turn to drench him. But that moment seemed pretty exciting. Lin Yi's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. He remembered a scene he saw in a movie. Why did it sound like a legendary scene? Yushu, too, was dumbfounded. She didn't expect Lin Yi to get drenched. When she turned around, she quickly ran to Meng Yao's side and helped her catch the urine. Oh, it's raining in the operating room too. Yarrow sis, you're so awesome. Meng Yarrow didn't expect Yushu to still be in the mood to tease her. She glared at her, not in a good mood. Why didn't it kill you? Oh, I don't mind, it's fine, Yushu said nonchalantly. Look, Yarrow, it's all over me too. Shu, you don't have to answer it. Lin Yi said to Yushu, shaking off the unhealthy thoughts in his head. Oh, you don't have to. Yushu blinked. Yeah. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. I was going to catch some urine to check if there's any poison in it, but it's much easier now. I'll just put it in my mouth. I already know what the poison is. Lin Yi didn't think that he had any perverted tendencies or hobbies, but he didn't feel any disgust when he said it. Was it because she was the miss? Or was it because he had other intentions towards her? Meng Yarrow wanted to dig a hole and hide in it after hearing Lin Yi say that he put the urine in his mouth. It was over. It was really over now. Why was she so useless? Couldn't she hold it in a little longer and wait for Shu to come? How was she going to face Lin Yi in the future? How was she going to get along with him? Wow, Shield Bro is so amazing. He knew what the poison was just by tasting it. Yushu tossed the disposable cup on the ground when she heard that she didn't have to take it anymore, and the pee splattered all over the floor. Meng Yarrow was speechless. Couldn't Shu be cleaner? How could she just throw it on the ground? But when she remembered that she had wet the entire operating room, she understood Shu's actions. Since it was the same no matter where she put it, she might as well throw it on the ground. I'll go out first. Yarrow should be fine now. Lin Yi saw Meng Yao's awkwardness and decided to leave the operating room first. Shu, help Yarrow get dressed when she's done resting. Oh, okay. Yushu nodded. Meng Yarrow wanted to say thank you, but she couldn't say it. She really didn't know how to face Lin Yi. She really didn't know. Lin Yi casually wiped his wet hair. Fortunately, there wasn't any weird smell. Otherwise, Lin Yi would be embarrassed when he went out. Lin Yi opened the door of the operating room and walked out quickly. He didn't wait for Pengzhan and Shuamin to see what was going on inside before he closed the door. In fact, even if they could see clearly, they wouldn't be able to see Meng Yao. There was a screen beside the bed in the operating room. Lin Yi. Pengzhan and Shuamin came up at the same time, looking at Lin Yi expectantly. Chapter 674. Poison prescription. This is great. This is great. Pengzhan was overjoyed after hearing Lin Yi's words. He wanted to rush into the surgery room immediately, But Lin Yi stopped him. Although Peng Zhan and Meng Yaro were father and daughter, Meng Yaro was already a grown-up. It wouldn't be appropriate for Peng Zhan to see her naked. The most important thing is, Chu Peng Zhan will definitely know that he also saw Yaro Yaro, who was not wearing any clothes. Uncle Chu, please don't go in yet. Meng Yaro is still a little weak. Why don't you wait for her outside the surgery room? Lin Yi said. I'm sorry, I was too rash. Peng Zhan quickly nodded and stopped in his tracks. Miracle doctor, have you cured Meng Yaro? Can you take a look at my child now? Yes, godly doctor, I beg you, can you save him now? The parents were overjoyed when they heard Lin Yi say that Meng Yaro was fine. They didn't dare to interrupt because they didn't want to piss Lin Yi off when he was talking to Peng Zhan. Now that Lin Yi was done talking, they started asking questions. Lin Yi looked at the parents. He could understand their feelings, but Lin Yi really didn't have the time to cure them one by one. First of all, he was tired, and there were female students among them. Lin Yi wasn't familiar with them, and he couldn't just ask them to take off their clothes one by one, could he? Besides, it'd be disgusting if he got pee all over them. Lin Yi didn't have any bad feelings towards the miss, but Lin Yi didn't like it when it came to the others. I'll save them, but I've used up the antidote. I need to discuss it with Grandpa Guan and come up with some more, Lin Yi said to the parents before turning to Xu Emin. Grandpa Guan, let's talk somewhere with fewer people. Lin Yi's words were half-truths, and the parents couldn't help but believe him. They were very happy that Lin Yi was willing to save their children, but they were still worried when they heard that the antidote was gone. But since Lin Yi promised to make some more, he wouldn't lie to them. All right. Xu Emin was overjoyed. Lin Yi probably knew how to cure the poison, but he couldn't say it in front of the parents. Lin Yi and Xu Emin came to the isolation room where Meng Yaro was. Lin Yi closed the door and said to Xu Emin, it's indeed an ancient poison called Deadly Seven Herbs Poison. The antidote was lost in the Ming dynasty, but the Tang sect collected it again at the end of the Qing dynasty and made a new antidote. Although the effect isn't immediate, it can be cured within 3 days if you increase the dosage. After a month of rest, you'll be no different from a normal person. Lin Yi didn't waste any time and told them what he knew. Oh, Deadly Seven Herbs Poison. Xu Emin's eyes widened in shock. There's still someone who knows the recipe of this poison? From Xu Emin's point of view, this Deadly Seven Herbs Poison was a legendary existence. Not only was the antidote lost, but even the recipe itself was long gone, and not only did Lin Yi know the recipe, but he also knew the antidote. Normal people don't know about it, but some ancient medical families should know about it, Lin Yi said faintly. As for the antidote, I'm afraid they don't know about it either. Xu Emin couldn't help but be moved. We're going to make the antidote now? Yes, I'll write down the recipe and the antidote for you later, Lin Yi said. Give the poison recipe to the police directly, but don't tell anyone about the antidote. Go get the medicine yourself and go to Fatty Lai's medicine factory to purify it. Try to make the antidote by tomorrow morning. Those students can at least last until tomorrow night, but I can't say for sure if they can last any longer than that. Xu Emin didn't expect Lin Yi to write down the poison recipe and the antidote for him directly. This made him feel flattered. How much trust did this require? The recipe for this ancient poison, Deadly Seven Herbs Poison, was already hard to come by, but Lin Yi actually had the antidote for it. This was a priceless treasure for a medical student. Okay, I'll do it properly. Xu Emin nodded solemnly. This is a good chance to hype up the company, talk to Fatty Lai and see if he has any good ideas. Lin Yi thought of using the antidote to hype up the company, but how exactly to do it wasn't Lin Yi's expertise. He needed Fatty Lai to do it. This Fatty Lai is good at it. I'll talk to him. Miracle Dr. Guan nodded. Lin Yi didn't say anything else. He wrote down the recipe and gave it to Xu Emin before leaving the isolation room. Meng Yaro and Yu Shu had already left the surgery room and were talking to Peng Zhan. Meng Yaro seemed to be in good spirits. When the miss saw Lin Yi, she coldly shifted her gaze to the side and didn't bother with him. Meng Yaro felt guilty. She actually wanted to say thank you to Lin Yi, but she couldn't bring herself to say it. It was fine that Lin Yi saw and touched her, but she even peed on Lin Yi's face and body. How could Meng Yaro face Lin Yi like nothing had happened? She was afraid that she would not be able to get over this hurdle in her heart. Lin Yi could guess what the miss was thinking, but he didn't talk to her, in case she felt awkward. Yu Shu, on the other hand, was excitedly telling Peng Zhan how amazing Shield Bro was and how strong Yaro Yaro Sis was. But Yu Shu wasn't an idiot in front of everyone. She didn't say a word about Meng Yaro taking off her clothes and peeing on Lin Yi's face. Yi, I really have to thank you this time. Peng Zhan saw Lin Yi and walked over excitedly, patting his shoulder. If it wasn't for you. Yaro Yaro, ha, Uncle Chu, it's what I should do. Lin Yi smiled, not arrogant. Besides, I didn't treat Yaro Yaro as an outsider. Good. Peng Zhan nodded. If that's the case, Yi, you're part of our Chu family from now onwards. Half of my family business will be yours. All the parents were shocked when they heard Peng Zhan's words. They didn't expect Peng Zhan to say this, but they thought that maybe it was because Lin Yi saved Meng Yao's life, so Peng Zhan was happy that he made this promise to Lin Yi. Chapter 675. The Tragedy, Jian Wen. Chapter 675, The Tragedy. Lin Yi didn't think much of it. He shrugged his shoulders. He had Guangbuo's shares in his hands. He was already the second biggest shareholder of Peng Zhan Industries. Peng Zhan seemed to have thought of this as well. He felt a little embarrassed. He had neglected the fact that Lin Yi was also a shareholder. But thinking about it, Lin Yi really didn't lack his family's asset. However, seeing that Lin Yi didn't have any special expression, Peng Zhan calmed down. Lin Yi didn't want to deal with these parents here. He just wanted to make sure that Meng Yaro was fine. Then, he said to Peng Zhan, Uncle Chu, I'll go out for a while. I'll come back after Grandpa Guan comes back. Okay, go do what you need to do. Peng Zhan nodded. Lin Yi planned to visit Tang Yun. After what happened today, Lin Yi felt that he had wronged Tang Yun. His relationship with the miss would become more and more complicated in the future. Meng Yaro, on the other hand, looked at Lin Yi's back. She wanted to say something, but she didn't. Her face was still cold. At the entrance of Songshan's First People's Hospital, Jian Wen, who had one of his kidneys removed, was sent to the emergency room. The hospital carried out emergency treatment on Jian Wen and quickly called the police. The police had already informed the hospital that if they encountered any other victims who had their kidneys removed, they must first rescue them and then contact the police immediately. Ling Shan didn't expect that on the day the kidney trafficking organization was eliminated, there would still be another case of kidney removal. This meant that they were still committing crimes today. Ling Shan quickly sent Liu Wangli and the others to the hospital. On one hand, they were protecting the victims. On the other hand, they were preparing to collect evidence of the kidney trafficking organization. The victims were the most important witnesses. The interrogation at the police station wasn't difficult at all. As the leader of the organization, the tattooed man didn't put up much resistance. Very quickly, he confessed his crimes. The entire kidney trafficking organization was led by him, and Dr. Wang was forced by him to embark on the path of crime. This was also the promise he made to Dr. Wang. As for how to sell the kidney, the tattooed man had also provided the contact information of several black intermediaries in the city. Before he was caught, he had already called those black intermediaries to inform them. Now that they had all run away, it was impossible to catch them again. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. The tattooed man had also provided the contact information of several black intermediaries. Ling Shan couldn't do anything about the tattooed guy's cleverness and willingness to take responsibility for what he had done. She followed the tattooed guy's lead and found the black middlemen, but they were long gone. According to the tattooed man, they used fake names when they traded, and they had never really met each other. So, the police couldn't find any useful clues at all. Although Ling Shan was angry, there was nothing she could do. Fortunately, the kidney trafficking organization's case was closed. As for those black intermediaries, they weren't in the city, so the police would deal with them. Ling Shan didn't want to cause trouble for herself. When Jian Wen woke up, he realized that he was lying in a strange place. This place seemed to be a hospital ward. Immediately, he felt extreme pain on the left side of his waist. He wanted to reach out and touch it, but he didn't have any strength at all. The anesthesia had just worn off, but his strength hadn't recovered yet. Where am I? Is anyone there? Jian Wen panicked and started yelling. The anesthesia had just worn off, and Jian Wen's mind was still a little fuzzy. He couldn't remember what happened just now. Sir, you're awake? One of Liu Wangli's men called Zhong Juli walked over and said to Jian Wen, I'm Zhong Juli from the city's first criminal investigation team. I'm. Jian Wen was startled. How did he get the police to come here? Sir, I have to tell you a very unfortunate news. Your left kidney was cut off by a criminal organization. Zhong Juli looked at Jian Wen sympathetically and said. What? Jian Wen's eyes widened. What? His own kidney was cut off. How was that possible? The kidney trafficking organization was his. Who would dare to cut off his own kidney? Wait, Lin Yi. Jian Wen suddenly thought of Lin Yi. He recalled the scene at that time. In the preparation room, Lin Yi suddenly woke up and knocked him out. Could it be that Dr. Wang didn't recognize him? Did he think that he was Lin Yi and cut off his kidney? Jian Wen wanted to cry. What the hell was going on? His kidney was cut off. This was really a case of being smart for a lifetime but dumb for a moment. The head of the kidney trafficking organization had his kidney cut off. Wouldn't people laugh their teeth off if this news got out? Jian Wen wanted to call the tattooed guy immediately to ask about the situation, but he couldn't do so since the police were here. Although he was anxious, he could only be patient and said, Sir, what are you? I was sent by the captain to protect your safety, Zhong Juli said, but don't worry, the kidney trafficking organization has been destroyed by the police. You are safe now. What? Destroyed? Jian Wen suddenly felt dizzy. The kidney trafficking organization was destroyed. How was that possible? How could it be destroyed? Sir, you don't have to be afraid. Zhong Juli thought that Jian Wen was scared, so he quickly said, from the looks of it, the main members of the organization have been arrested. However, in order to prevent the remaining members of the kidney trafficking organization from doing anything harmful to you, we will be at the hospital 24 hours to protect your safety. Jian Wen rolled his eyes and fainted on the spot. His kidney was cut off and the kidney trafficking organization was destroyed. How could Jian Wen not faint? Sir, what's wrong? Zhong Juli was shocked. He thought that Jian Wen's body was weak. He quickly pressed the button to call the doctor and get the doctor to save Jian Wen. Kang Mingming got to know Guan Xin after the coincidental meeting at the bookstore. However, because of Lin Yi's appearance, he lost a lot of face. This made Kang Mingming very unhappy, but he couldn't do anything about it. This afternoon, Kang Mingming came to the Songshan First Hospital with a bouquet of flowers. However, he didn't go to Guan Xin directly. Instead, he walked around the hospital a few times and let everyone see him. Even Guan Xin, who was in the office, saw him. Only then did he create a coincidental meeting. What a coincidence, Guan Xin, you are here. Kang Mingming welcomed her with a smile. Chapter 676. Bad start yeah. Kang Mingming saw Guan Xin's expression and knew that she misunderstood that he was going around the hospital to create a chance encounter. He quickly explained, I'm here to visit a friend today, he's in the hospital but I couldn't find him. I called him just now and found out that he was discharged already. I was wondering why I couldn't find him. Oh, I see. Then go visit your friend, I have to work. Guan Xin clearly didn't want to talk to Kang Mingming anymore. Yeah, I'm going now. Oh right, take this bouquet of flowers, it's not convenient for me to bring them around. Kang Mingming handed the bouquet of flowers to Guan Xin. You're visiting a patient, buying roses? Guan Xin wasn't stupid. Why would she believe Kang Mingming's bullshit? It's a female patient. Kang Mingming blinked, but he reacted quickly and changed his words. A female patient buying roses? Your girlfriend, right? Guan Xin smiled. Kang Mingming didn't expect Guan Xin to be able to find flaws in his words despite her meek appearance. It was the same in the bookstore, and it was the same now. It seemed like this girl wasn't going to be easy to pick up. It was going to be difficult. What girlfriend? She's my bro's girlfriend, I'm actually here on his behalf. Kang Jiaoming had an idea and said, actually, it's like this. My bro got into a fight with his girlfriend, and she got so mad that she left the house. She stayed outside for a whole night and caught a cold. My bro wanted to apologize, but he couldn't let go of his pride, so he asked me to come and apologize on his behalf. I didn't think that the couple would have already made up when I called. I came here for nothing. Kang Jiaoming felt that the reason he came up with was very powerful. He was a genius. Oh, since you don't need this flower anymore, I'll help you put it in the hospital vase. Guanxin knew that if she didn't accept the flowers, Kang Mingming wouldn't stop, so she took the roses from Kang Mingming and put them in a vase in the hallway. Kang Jiaoming saw that things had reached this point, and there was nothing he could do. He could only say bitterly, that's right, it's pretty here. Guanxin, I'll be leaving now. Keep in touch. Goodbye. Guanxin nodded and went back to her office. Guanxin felt that she shouldn't have gone to the washroom. She didn't want to meet Kang Jiaoming, this annoying person. Kang Mingming sighed. He felt like he should change his approach. Guanxin was different from the other girls. Based on Kang Jiaoming's previous experience, girls who had never had a boyfriend before were very innocent and easy to get. But with Guanxin, he ran into a wall. After Kang Mingming left, a nurse who was close to Guanxin, Li Xiaomai, looked at the roses in the hallway and curled her lips. He's so rich. 99 roses, that's at least 300 kwai, and he just threw it away like that. It's his money, what does it have to do with us? Guanxin smiled. Why, do you like it? Introduce me to you? Forget it, even though I dream of finding a rich man, he's obviously not my type. He's a playboy, and he probably ditches women after he's done with them. How can I give myself to him? Li Xiaomai obviously didn't care about Kang Mingming. Li Xiaomai knew her place. Even though she was pretty, there was still a huge gap between her and Guanxin. She also knew that she wouldn't catch the eye of a rich man like Guanxin. Instead of being played for free, she'd rather find a rich man who could support her for the rest of her life. Guanxin didn't agree or disagree with Li Xiaomei's dream. Everyone had their own life, and Li Xiaomei's family wasn't well off. It was normal for her to want to find a rich man to support her for the rest of her life. If he wanted to find someone he truly loved, that was also his freedom. So, if even you can tell he's not a good person, then why should I still take his flowers? Guanxin shook her head. Alright, let's get back to work. You'll get scolded when the head nurse gets here. You're the daughter of a rich family, who would dare scold you? Do you want to stay here or not? Li Xiaomai and Guanxin were classmates when they were in school, so she knew a little about Guanxin's family background. She knew that Guanxin's father was a major shareholder of the hospital, and her grandfather was the famous miracle Dr. Guan. No one knows who I am, and even if they do, it's not like I'm special. Guanxin said as she started to work, if you don't want your bonus, then go back to daydreaming. Alright, I'm coming. Li Xiaomai quickly followed Guanxin. Before I find a rich man, I still care about the bonus. Kang Mingming gloomily walked out of the hospital and got into a Porsche Cayenne. His two lackeys, Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing, were in the car. Master Ming, how was it? Did you give the flowers away? Zhu Xiaozhong asked. Xiaozhong, aren't you asking a question you already know the answer to? Didn't you see that Master Ming came back empty-handed? He must have given them away. Wang Shubing said, fuck, don't talk about it. Another fucking bad start. Kang Mingming waved his hand in annoyance and sat in the front passenger seat. What's wrong, Master Ming? Your flowers. Zhu Xiaozhong saw Kang Mingming was cursing, and he couldn't help but be stunned. I did give the flowers away, to the hospital. Kang Mingming was very annoyed. This girl isn't easy to hook. She's a fucking smart person. She looks gentle and soft, but she's actually very smart. Damn, she sent me back, and the flowers were directly placed in the vase in the corridor of the hospital. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing heard this and couldn't help but look at each other. Originally, they thought that if Kang Mingming made a move, wouldn't it be a piece of cake? They didn't expect to have 2 consecutive bad starts. Next time, looks like we have to use a different method to get close to her. The current coincidental encounter is too low level, we can't fool her. Kang Ming waved his hand and said, "Let's think about it and see if there are any good ideas. Let's all brainstorm and come up with an idea. Didn't we use money to pick up girls in the past?" Zhu Xiaozhong thought hard, but he couldn't come up with a good plan. He was usually very arrogant and straightforward, so there were a lot of gold diggers who fooled around with him. Chapter 677. Tank Top Bro. Ming bro, I have an idea. Wang Shubing, who had been quiet all this time, finally spoke, "But I'm afraid that you'll have to suffer a bit." "Oh, you have an idea? Hurry up and tell me. If it's really useful, I'm willing to suffer a bit." Although Kang Jiaoming didn't like to suffer, from his point of view, hitting on girls was to have fun. If he suffered, then how would he be able to hit on girls? Wasn't that just asking for trouble? He'd rather not hit on girls. He had plenty of targets anyway, and it wasn't like he didn't have any, but Guan Xin was different. Hitting on Guan Xin and getting the secret recipe from Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was Kang Ming's current mission. Whether or not he could get a good position in the family depended on this one move. Although Jiaolong didn't show much hostility towards Kang Ming knew that if he kept being useless, Jiaolong wouldn't be nice to him after his grandpa died. "Master Ming, think about it. Guan Xin is a nurse at Songshan's Songshan First Hospital, right?" Wang Shubing started to analyze. "Isn't that obvious? Why are you asking when you already know the answer?" Kang Ming wasn't too happy. "Of course she's a nurse at Songshan First Hospital. Didn't I tell you before?" "Young Master Ming, let me finish speaking," Wang Shubing said. "Guan Xin is a nurse at Songshan First Hospital. Then tell me, who is the person she interacts with the most?" "Doctor." Kang Ming thought about it and said, "Damn, you're not thinking of making me a doctor, are you?" "I'm not interested in that." "Young Master Ming, how can you become a doctor in one day?" Wang Shubing smiled bitterly. "This is a terrible idea, and it's not something that I, strategist Wang, would come up with." "Oh, then what do you mean?" Kang Ming relaxed when he heard that he wasn't going to be a doctor. "Patients. Of course, nurses have the most contact with patients every day, so I want you to be the patient," Wang Shubing said. "You want me to pretend to be sick and get close to Guan Xin?" Kang Ming's eyes lit up. This was a great idea. Why didn't he think of it before? If he became a patient, wouldn't he be able to interact with Guan Xin every day? You can't pretend to be sick. Like you said, Guan Xin isn't stupid. She'll be able to tell if you're pretending to be sick. Wang Shubing waved his hand and said, "If you want to be sick, then you have to be really sick. This is why I said you have to suffer a little." "Really sick? That's a good idea." Jiaoming nodded. "Then how do you think I should get sick?" "Well, normally, if you have a normal fever, you can stay in the hospital. As long as you're willing to pay, there's no reason for the hospital to refuse, right?" "Okay, then I'll have a fever and a cold. This is easier. Other diseases, even if I want to, are not easy to get." Kang Ming also felt that the only way to get close to Guan Xin was if he stayed in the hospital. "But it's not easy to catch a cold today, is it?" Kang Ming looked at the sunny sky outside the car window. The weather in April was already very hot. It didn't seem easy to catch a cold. "That's why we have to suffer a little," Wang Shubing said. "I know there's an ice hockey rink nearby. Master Ming, let's go sit there." "Fine." Kang Ming gritted his teeth. For the sake of picking up girls, for the sake of his family's status, he would endure it. He had to succeed this time. So what if he suffered a little? As a result, Kang Ming and his team arrived at the ice hockey arena. Under everyone's astonished gaze, they walked into the ice rink. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing both wore thick, warm ice hockey jerseys. Kang Ming, on the other hand, wore a short-sleeved tank top and shorts. He gritted his teeth as he sat in the audience seats. "Damn, a man." The people in the arena saw Kang Ming's outfit and couldn't help but exclaim, "Isn't he too awesome? He's a tank top bro." A girl took out her phone and was about to take a photo of Kang Ming and post it on the internet. A new generation of bro was born. Kang Ming was originally shivering in the cold, but hearing the people in the arena praise him, Kang Ming's vanity was immediately satisfied. He even did a pose with the girl who took the photo. Look at him, his body is so healthy. He's wearing a tank top and shorts here. A bespectacled man said enviously, we can't do it. Our bodies are weak after playing too much with women. We can't stand the cold. Kang Ming Ming was proud of himself. He thought to himself, I've played with a lot of women, but look at me, I'm a legend. Kang Ming Ming was feeling proud of himself. Suddenly, he felt a chill and couldn't help but sneeze. His mucus also sprayed out, smearing everywhere. It was sticky and disgusting. Fuck, he's not a tough guy, but a pretentious guy. I thought he wasn't cold. The person who sighed before couldn't help but despise Kang Ming Ming when he heard him sneeze. The expression of the young lady who was taking pictures with her phone suddenly became interesting. It seemed that tank top bro was going to become pretentious bro or pervert bro. As for the bespectacled man, he looked at Kang Ming Ming sympathetically and said, Bro, are you worse than me? I didn't even sneeze when I'm so weak. Aren't you too lame? Kang Ming Ming was instantly embarrassed and angry. His face turned red, but he couldn't refute. Zhu Xiaozhong, on the other hand, couldn't stand it anymore. He stood up and pointed at the people who were talking. He shouted arrogantly, What the fuck are you looking at? Have you never seen cultivation before? Master Ming came here to cultivate. What do you people know? Cultivation? He came here to cultivate with mucus coming out of his nose. Was there something wrong with his brain? Those people shook their heads speechlessly and ignored Kang Ming Ming. Although Kang Ming Ming lost face, he thought of his plan to pick up girls. He had to persevere. He couldn't give up halfway. He had to cultivate until he caught a cold. Kang Ming Ming sneezed again. The media in Songshan, under the lead of the direwolf, was almost one-sided. They were all attacking Songshan's first school, describing it as the devil's first school. In fact, other than the interview with the direwolf, Chu Pengzhan and Ding Bingong didn't face any media again. Even if the media wanted to enter the emergency room, they wouldn't get permission from the hospital. So the latest development of the matter was unknown to the media. Chapter 678. Press conference. After all, the power of the media was terrifying. It could sway a lot of people who didn't know the truth, and these people would rather believe it than not. Since the school was so scary, who would dare to let their children continue to study here? However, at this critical moment, the CEO of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, Lai Changyi, called for an emergency press conference. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company had been the focus of the media and the public ever since it was established. Although the Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company's Miracle Dr. Guan Injury Medicine wasn't officially on the market yet, the company's name was already very famous. There was no other reason. Although the news of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's outstanding performance at Yanjing's house use auction was only spread among the noble houses and wealthy merchants, the all-pervasive media quickly got wind of it and reported on Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company continuously. There was no lack of rumors, such as the fact that Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company had mastered the technology to bring the dead back to life. Of course, these were all derived from the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. But Fatty Lai didn't go out to refute the rumors, because these reports were all rumors. With this hype, he didn't even need to advertise himself, and directly hyped up the name of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. So when Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company called for an emergency press conference, all the media in Songshan sent their reporters to the press conference as soon as they received the news. Although the media's attention was on the fainting incident of Songshan's first school, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's press conference was also very important. The media that didn't take the lead in the fainting incident focused their attention on this press conference, hoping to get some first-hand information from the press conference. The press conference was held in Fatty Lai's newly built skyscraper, which would become the headquarters of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. The building and trading company downstairs were also contributed by Fatty Lai for free, and merged into Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. The construction company would be responsible for the construction of the factory, and the trading company would be responsible for the sales of the produced medicine. Fatty Lai's wife was a little reluctant to give away all of his assets, but Fatty Lai didn't care about his wife's opinion at all. From his perspective, His wife had long hair but short brains. How was this even possible? If he followed Lin Yi in the future, what else could he not want? Lin Yi's medical skills were superb. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he could bring the dead back to life. As his follower, how could Fatty Lai not benefit from it? Fatty Lai felt a sense of satisfaction he had never felt before as he looked at the packed press area. Back when he was running his company, he'd probably have to bribe some reporters to attend his press conference, and the number was only a third of what it was now. But now, he didn't need to invest anything. All he needed to do was release a piece of news and these reporters came to him. It couldn't be helped. Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company's product wasn't even on the market yet, but they already had a name. Thank you for joining the press conference of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. I am Lai Changyi. Fatty Lai walked up to the stage with a smile on his face. The main topic of this press conference is the mass coma incident in Songshan First School. If you are here for our company's new product, I'm afraid you will be disappointed. The reporters were stunned by Fatty Lai's words. Why was it Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's turn to hold a press conference for the fainting incident of the Songshan First School? Even if there was a press conference, it should be held by Songshan First School or Pengzhan Industries, right? Or it could be the police. But Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was the only company that had nothing to do with this incident. Why would they hold a press conference to release news related to the fainting incident of the Songshan First School? No matter how they looked at it, the reporters found it strange. Although it was strange, they were still very excited. Not only were they not disappointed, they were glad that they came to the right place. Because the fainting incident of the Songshan First School was the headline of all the media, they were all trying to find out the truth behind the incident. Fatty Lai's press conference was related to this incident. How could they not be happy? First of all, I want to say that the rumors in the society are not true. What terrifying school's unknown virus base? It's all nonsense. Fatty Lai knew about the relationship between Lin Yi and Miss Chu, so he held this press conference not only to promote his Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, but also to restore the Songshan First School's reputation. Fatty Lai's words made the reporters below the stage blush with shame. They had also published reports like terrifying campus biochemical base with unknown virus before, but they were just following the trend. Fatty Lai's denial of the news made the reporters perk up. After our Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's clinical research and analysis, we have found the cause of the fainting students. It's confirmed that it's caused by poison. Fatty Lai's words shocked all the reporters present. Didn't the hospital say that it wasn't poison? And they couldn't find the cause of the fainting? A reporter below the stage couldn't help but ask. Indeed, if we used normal methods, we wouldn't be able to find the cause of the fainting. Because the poison that these students were poisoned with is an extremely rare 1000-year poison. Fatty Lai said, everyone knows that our Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is a company dedicated to medical research and development. Whether it's the research ability or the team of experts, they are all internationally advanced. Therefore, after the unremitting efforts of our team of experts, we finally analyzed that this 1000-year-old poison is a kind of strong poison made from 7 kinds of Chinese herbs. It is called deadly 7 herbs poison, a kind of 1000-year-old poison that has been lost for thousands of years. After this poison is consumed, it will be absorbed by the body quickly, and then it will destroy the body's physiological functions. If we don't treat them in time, they will die in at most 3 days. This poison is made from pure Chinese herbs. It's very difficult to detect it using normal chemical methods, so this is why the hospital didn't detect it before. Because the smell of many Chinese herbs is similar to seasoning, it won't arouse suspicion. Chapter 679. Fatty Lai seizes the opportunity. Deadly 7 herbs poison. Millennium poison. Can't detect it. It's similar to seasoning. The reporters gasped in shock. Fatty Lai's words were a little too inconceivable, and they couldn't accept it for a while. Wasn't this too unbelievable? He even brought out the 1000-year poison? Are you serious? If it's a millennium poison, then why don't people know about it? How did you analyze it? A reporter began to ask questions. This reporter was in cahoots with Direwolf. He was Direwolf's underling. The direwolf was busy following up on the fainting incident, and this press conference was attended by his follower. Haha, I've said it before, this millennium poison is lost, which means that no one knows the recipe. Only the main ingredients are recorded in ancient books. Fatty Lie started blabbering again. We analyzed the 7 herbs and compared them to the main ingredients, and finally confirmed that it's the lost deadly 7 herbs poison. Oh, then what are the 7 herbs? If it's lost, then why would someone poison it? The follower didn't want the public's opinion to change, so he started asking sharp questions. I'm sorry, but we can't provide the recipe. First, it involves the company's confidentiality, and second, if we announce the recipe, what if someone with bad intentions uses it? Fatty Lie smiled. But we've already submitted the recipe to the Songshan police. As for why someone would poison it after it's lost, that's for the police to investigate. We're just a medical company, and this isn't our business scope. Fatty Lie's words made the reporters below the stage burst into laughter, but the direwolf follower was furious. He panicked. Don't tell me that you made up a poison just to get famous. Saying that it's a millennium poison is just an excuse for Songshan's first school, and also for your own fame. Can you cure this millennium poison? If you can't cure it, then what's the point of making the recipe? Who knows if it's real or fake? Although the words of Deadly Wolf's underling were impolite, he also asked the question in the minds of many reporters present. In fact, they also had doubts about the authenticity of this deadly 7 herbs poison. After all, this matter was somewhat unbelievable. It was beyond the normal acceptable range. The 1,000-year-old poison was a bit too far away from real life. Therefore, although the question of crippled Wolf's underling was a bit impolite, it did represent the thoughts of some people. Haha, since it's a millennium poison, and the recipe has been lost, how could there be an antidote? Fatty Lie smiled, pausing on purpose. If that's the case, then you admit that you're using this opportunity to create hype. The follower's eyes lit up as he continued. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that since there's no poison recipe in the ancient books, naturally, there's no antidote recipe. Fatty Lie made a calming expression and continued, but, although we don't have the antidote formula right now, the experts of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company have worked tirelessly, and after many experiments, we've finally created an antidote to the deadly 7 herbs poison. Right now, the factory is working overtime to create the antidote. We'll be able to mass produce it tomorrow morning and use it on the fainted student. Wadash, even the follower and all the reporters were in an uproar. They really made an antidote. They weren't trying to create hype. The strange coma that even the hospital couldn't do anything about was diagnosed as a 1,000-year poison by Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. Not only that, they even created an antidote for it. This Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was, just as the rumors said, too magical. Of course, this antidote isn't our company's product. It's specially made for this poisoning incident, and we're not going to charge a single cent for it. Fatty Lie said, we're giving it to the unconscious students for free. This is also the social responsibility of every medical company. Earning money is secondary, saving lives is the first priority. Fatty Lie's words made the reporters on the scene respectful. This was really a kind medical company. If it was some other black-hearted company, not only would they not give it for free, but they would also raise the price. If they sold this batch of antidote to Pengzhan Industries, they would be able to sell it for a sky-high price. Everyone knew that if this incident couldn't be resolved, the biggest impact would be on Pengzhan Industries' first high school, and if Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company used this opportunity to raise the price of the antidote, it wouldn't be hard for them to get a huge profit. Next, I'll announce our new product, Miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine's effects and release date. After the poisoning incident, Fatty Lie naturally took the opportunity to promote his company's product. The reporters listened carefully to Fatty Lie's introduction, and they were prepared to report this incident when they got back. After the press conference of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, the situation changed drastically. The previous direction of public opinion began to change. While the media was ready to condemn the culprit, they were also full of sympathy for the first high school, and at the same time, they gave high praise to Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. Even Ken Lang couldn't do anything about it. Although he accepted Silly's money, he couldn't go against the current, could he? Now that the truth was out, and everyone was condemning the culprit and praising Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company, Ken Lang couldn't continue to attack the first high school, could he? Even the chief editor of the newspaper asked him to draft an article to refute the previous article, denounce the culprit, and praise Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. After all, he couldn't possibly go against the mainstream media, could he? Ken Lang had no choice but to call Tsihua. Tsihua bro, it's me, Ken Lang. Tsihua bro, I'm Crippled Wolf. Ken Lang said with a guilty conscience, I tried my best to smear the name of Songshan First School and Pengzhan Industries, but I couldn't do anything about it. That Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company is too powerful. They actually found out the reason why the students were in a coma. They said that they were poisoned by some deadly 7 herbs poison and even made the antidote. I can't lie through my teeth anymore. What? Tsihua was shocked after hearing the words. What did you say? Did Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company find out why the students were unconscious? You even concocted an antidote? Chapter 680. Recovering Here's the Money. Tsihua didn't have the time to waste with Direwolf. He slammed his phone to the side and rushed to find Master Bing. He had to tell Master Bing this news as soon as possible. The news had spread in the media world, but normal people didn't know about it yet. Because the media needed time to write and publish the news, they were only in the preparation stage and hadn't released the news yet. The TV stations were also working overtime to edit the news and get ready to broadcast it as soon as possible. Tsihua stumbled into Master Bing's room. Master Bing, it's bad, our plan failed. Master Bing was reading a novel written by Fishman 2, very pure, very flirtatious prequel on his phone. It was a very enjoyable urban novel. He was imagining himself as the main character and was torturing the supporting characters when he was interrupted by Tsihua. He was annoyed. What are you screaming for? What plan failed? Master Bing, Direwolf just called and said that Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company has found the cause of the student's coma. It's poisoning, and they've even found the poison. It's deadly 7 herbs poison, and they've made an antidote. Tsihua said in a panic. Impossible. Yarawang spoke before Master Bing could say anything. Deadly 7 herbs poison is an ancient poison, and there's no antidote. Even I don't know what the antidote is. How could they have the antidote? I don't know either. Direwolf just gave me the news. Tsihua was just passing on Direwolf's message. Turn on the TV and see. If it's true, there'll be news on the TV. Master Bing frowned. He had heard of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company before. It was a newly established company that was in the limelight at House Yu's auction. Could they have made an antidote? Otherwise, how would they know the poison was called deadly 7 herbs poison? Tsihua heard Master Bing's words and quickly turned on the TV. It was broadcasting the news of Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's press conference. Everyone in the room was stunned when they saw Fatty Lai on the stage talking leisurely. Master Bing gritted his teeth in anger. He was overjoyed when he heard that Meng Yarrow was poisoned as well, but in the blink of an eye, the Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company solved the problem and even created the antidote. Impossible, impossible. The Yawang's eyes widened. With a look of disbelief on his face, he said, this is a 1,000-year-old poison. There's no antidote for it. Even if they know about this poison, it's impossible for them to concoct an antidote in such a short period of time. Not even that person. The person the Medicine King was talking about was someone who had completely defeated him. He was his nightmare, but even that person couldn't create an antidote in such a short period of time. This was absolutely impossible. However, the truth was right in front of him. Yarawang had no choice but to believe it. After all, the TV news wouldn't simply report it. If the Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company didn't create an antidote and instead said that they did, it would be a huge blow to the company once this matter was exposed. This was fatal to a newly established company. Master Bing heard Yarawang keep saying that it was impossible and he was annoyed. He frowned and said, all right, since it doesn't work this time, we'll think of another way. Master Bing didn't expect Yarawang to be so weak despite looking so powerful. He couldn't take a blow like this. His Chibing skyscraper had collapsed, but he didn't give up. He was still thinking of ways to deal with Lin Yi. Of course, Master Bing thought this way because he didn't understand the power of the deadly 7 herbs poison. Only Yarawang himself knew how terrifying and powerful the deadly 7 herbs poison was. He thought that this poison would work because even he didn't have an antidote for this poison, let alone those normal hospitals. He didn't think that the miracle Dr. Guan's medical company could create an antidote for the deadly 7 herbs poison. He didn't believe it, but the truth forced him to believe it. After all, the other party did find out why the students were in a coma and pointed out the name of the deadly 7 herbs poison. In other words, the other party had a certain level of understanding towards this poison. The antidote was also real. Otherwise, no company would risk their future. The antidote had nothing to do with miracle Dr. Guan's medical company. If they couldn't do it, why would they take this job? It seemed like the other party's medical skills weren't weak. Miracle Dr. Guan, Guan Xueming. In the past, Yarawang didn't put Guan Xueming in his eyes at all. Although he was called Miracle Doctor by the 4 big and 5 small houses, the hidden houses all had their own doctors. Yarawang was one of House Zhao's doctors. But now, Yarawang had to take Guan Xueming seriously. It seemed like he really had some skills. Guan Xueming, I'll remember you. I'll compete with you. When the news was broadcasted, Gao Xiaofu also knew about it. He was also dismissed from school and went home. After returning home, Gao Xiaofu was scared and excited at the same time. It was the excitement of doing something bad. It was the first time he did something so bad. He poisoned others. When he saw the ambulance send the 28 students out of the school and the hospital give them a notice of critical condition, he felt an indescribable sense of joy. But after that, he was deeply worried. After all, those were 28 lives. If they died just like that, he would be the murderer. Before, the hospital couldn't find any reason. Gao Xiaofu let out a sigh of relief. Although he was the one who poisoned the students, there was no evidence. Even the hospital couldn't give an answer. He was afraid that the case would be left unsettled. But not long after, there was a company called Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company that held a press conference. Not only did they find out the reason why the students were in a coma, but they also gave the prescription of the deadly 7 herbs poison to the police. This meant that the police would start their investigation soon, and if they found out about the food in the cafeteria, they would easily suspect Pin Liang and himself. Gao Xiaofu was really anxious now. He quickly picked up his phone and dialed Zhong Pingliang's number. He had to discuss a plan with Zhong Pingliang. They couldn't wait for the police to come to their door, could they? Zhong Pingliang just had a kidney transplant. He was lying in the hospital happily, enjoying the sunlight outside the window. He felt that life was beautiful. Having a kidney was good. He felt that he had regained his confidence as a man. Chapter 681. The poisoning was exposed. Pin Liang picked up the phone. Xiaofu, I have good news for you. My kidney transplant was successful, and I'm about to regain my confidence as a man. Liang bro, I have bad news for you. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company found out about our poisoning and they reported it to the police. Do you think the police will find us? Xiaofu didn't even have time to congratulate Pin Liang as his heart was filled with deep fear. What? They found out so quickly? No way. Pin Liang was shocked as he didn't expect them to act so quickly. Didn't they say that deadly 7 herbs poison was some ancient poison that no one could cure? It seemed like Master Bing's Yarawang wasn't very reliable either. Yeah, Liang bro, what should we do? I don't want to go to jail. I'm still quite young. Xiaofu heard Pin Liang's nervous voice and became even more afraid. It's fine, Xiaofu, I'll ask my dad right now. Master Bing already found a scapegoat for us. Even if something happens, you won't be implicated. I'll take it all on my own. Pin Liang comforted Gao Xiaofu. That's good, that's good. Xiaofu heard Pin Liang's words and sighed in relief. Then I don't have to do anything. If the police ask me, I'll just say that I don't know. Ian, you don't have to say anything. If they want to ask, let them ask me. Just pretend that it has nothing to do with you. Pin Liang said. Okay, I understand. Xiaofu said gratefully. Liang Bro was a good man, he didn't shirk responsibility when something happened. Pin Liang hung up the phone and called his father over. Fabai was just outside the ward. He had just turned on the TV and saw the news about the mass coma in Songshan's first school. He was looking at it when Pin Liang called him in. Dad, the poisoning was exposed. Hurry up and call Master Bing. Don't drag me into it. Pin Liang would be lying if he said he wasn't worried. He was afraid of going to jail. He just got a good kidney and he didn't even have time to enjoy life. He didn't want it to be ruined in jail. Xiao Fu just called and said that some miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company found the reason for the student's coma and told the police. I'm also watching this news. Fabai nodded and said solemnly, I'll call Master Bing now. Although he has already arranged it, I still need to confirm it. Okay, Dad, don't make a mistake. I don't want to go to jail, Pin Liang reminded. No way, why would I let you go to jail? Fabai said with a wave of his hand as he dialed Tsihua's number. Old Zhong, right? Tsihua answered Fabai's call. He had a rough idea of why Zhong Fabai was calling him, so he didn't wait for him to speak. I'll arrange for someone to turn himself in to the police station right now. If the police come looking for Pin Liang, just tell Pin Liang to say this. Master Bing will take care of the rest for you. Tsihua told Fabai what Pin Liang needed to say, and Fabai calmed down after listening to Tsihua. With the prescription of the deadly 7 herbs poison provided by Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company, the police quickly found the content of the 7 herbs in the food. The person who poisoned the food was very smart. He only used one type of herb in each dish, and the herbs alone were not poisonous. In fact, when a few herbs were mixed together, they could even strengthen yang and nourish the kidneys. However, when these 7 herbs were mixed together, they could produce a deadly poison. This was also the reason why only a small number of students were poisoned. After all, there were very few students who ordered all 7 dishes and ate all of them. The rest of the students who only ate a few of the herbs would not be poisoned. After finding the source of the poison, the police sent people to the school cafeteria to investigate. Without any suspense, the suspects were Zhong Pinliang and Jiao Xiaofu, who came to the cafeteria earlier in the afternoon. According to the cafeteria's chef, only Zhong Pinliang and Jiao Xiaofu touched the food in the kitchen alone. Other than them, no one else touched the food. After eliminating the possibility of the chef's motive, the police locked their targets on Zhong Pinliang and Jiao Xiaofu. Zhong Pinliang didn't expect the police to react so quickly. Jiao Xiaofu hadn't hung up for long and the police already came to his door. Hello, I'm the captain of Songshan's criminal investigation team, Liu Wangli. This is my ID. Liu Wangli arrived quickly and the person who received him was Zhong Pinliang's father, Zhong Fabai. Hello, Officer Liu, you're finally here. That's great. Zhong Fabai quickly shook Liu Wangli's hand enthusiastically. Liu Wangli was stunned. He didn't understand why Zhong Fabai was so enthusiastic. He was here to arrest his son, okay? Mr. Zhong, why did you look forward to my arrival? Liu Wangli asked curiously. Yes, my son Pinliang. Ever since he was harmed by the kidney trafficking organization and had one of his kidneys removed, he became absent-minded and had low self-esteem. I wanted to call the police but he wouldn't agree no matter what. He was afraid that the criminals would take revenge on him after I called the police. Zhong Fabai sighed and said with pity, I really feel sorry for my son. Since you're here, please persuade Pinliang to cooperate with you and bring the criminals to justice. Huh? Liu Wangli heard Zhong Fabai's words and was shocked speechless. He never thought that Zhong Pinliang was also a victim of the kidney trafficking organization. It seemed like things weren't as simple as he thought. Could it be that there was something else? He decided to talk to Zhong Pinliang and said, Is that so? Where is Zhong Pinliang now? He's in the ward inside. He said that he was mocked and looked down on by his classmates in school. They said that he lost one of his kidneys and is no longer a real man. They said that he's a eunuch. Zhong Fabai sighed again. They even mocked him and said that he sold his kidney to buy an iPad. Officer Liu, with our family's financial situation, do we still need to sell our kidney? I, Zhong Fabai, may not be rich but I'm the boss of an entertainment city, right? Can't I afford an iPad? Chapter 682. Deceiving the heavens well, I haven't finished speaking yet. He's being ridiculed in school. I don't think it's okay. If this continues, Pinliang will become a mental patient. What if he does something I'll regret? I only have one son, Fabai said, so I contacted a black intermediary and bought another kidney for Pinliang. I just finished the kidney transplant and he's resting inside right now. Bought him another kidney? Just finished the surgery? Liu Wangli was even more shocked. Pinliang was poisoned and now he had a surgery? What kind of speed was that? I know that it's illegal to buy and sell kidneys through illegal agents, but you can understand me. I pity all parents. Fabai sighed, if you want to punish someone, punish me. You can't let Pinliang return the kidney. He can't afford it. He just regained his confidence as a man and wants to live again. Don't ruin his life. Liu Wangli was even more confused. Why did it sound so strange? Was Pinliang the one who poisoned Pinliang? I'll pretend that I don't know anything about this black agent, but I have something else I want to ask Zhong Pinliang. Can I talk to him alone? Liu Wangli asked. As for Fabai buying a kidney from an illegal agent, it was already given to Pinliang. There was no point in pursuing the matter. Pinliang was also a victim. Yes, of course. Help me persuade him again. Let him regain his confidence and go to school, Fabai said. Liu Wangli nodded and walked into the ward. He saw Pinliang lying on the bed. Pinliang naturally saw Liu Wangli in his police uniform. He hesitated slightly and said with a depressed expression, "Hello, officer. If you are here to collect evidence for the kidney trafficking company, I don't want to go. I don't want to embarrass myself anymore. I've had enough. I don't want the kidney trafficking company to take revenge on me, but if you want to ask about the coma incident in school, I can be honest with you. I did it, but it wasn't my intention. It really wasn't. I didn't think that there would be such serious consequences." Liu Wangli was stunned by Pinliang's straightforwardness. He didn't think that Pinliang would be so honest the moment he stepped into the room. From the looks of it, he must have suffered a huge psychological burden before. That's why he confessed the problem so frankly after I came. Liu Wangli didn't use any of his psychological tactics, but the more he thought about it, the more Liu Wangli felt that there was more to this than met the eye. Out of sympathy for Pinliang, the victim, Liu Wangli didn't want a high school student to become a prisoner. Perhaps there was something going on. According to him, this wasn't his original intention. What could it be? Zhong Pinliang, I don't know what your intentions were, but now that you've admitted that you poisoned the cafeteria, do you know the consequences you'll have to bear? Intentional murder is not a small crime, Liu Wangli said with a serious expression. I didn't know it was poison. I really didn't know. I didn't want this to happen. I'm sorry. Pinliang clutched at his hair painfully. You didn't know it was poison? Then why don't you tell me what happened? Liu Wangli frowned and asked. But if I tell you, you'll arrest my relative. I didn't know he gave me poison. Pinliang looked like he was in a difficult position, but in fact, he said all the important clues. Liu Wangli's eyes lit up. There was more to this. That meant that Pinliang wasn't the mastermind, and according to the current situation, he was also a victim. So, Liu Wangli said, Zhong Pinliang, you have to tell the truth now. Otherwise, you'll be taking the blame for someone else, you know? If this matter really has nothing to do with you, considering that it's your first offense and that you're a patient now, you can atone for your crimes with good deeds. You can be given a lighter punishment or even be exempted from punishment. Sigh. Pinliang sighed and hesitated for a while. If you don't punish me, will you punish my relative? Will he be sentenced to death? If it really has nothing to do with you, your responsibility can be lightened or even exempted. But if your relative is the mastermind, then his crime will be heavy. As for whether he will be sentenced to death or not, it depends on his attitude of admitting his mistake and his motive. Of course, it still depends on the court's decision, Liu Wangli said. All right, you can find out even if I don't tell you. Pinliang nodded and began to explain. Actually, this is what happened. I have to start from when my kidney was cut off. After my kidney was cut off, my classmates all laughed at me and looked at me weirdly. Some of them even said that I'm not a complete man anymore, that I'm a eunuch. Some even mocked me and said that I sold my kidney to buy an iPad. This made me lose all my face. I hate them. These people are too evil. They don't understand the pain in my heart. They don't know how inferior I feel. I hate them. And then, Liu Wanli nodded. He started to sympathize with Zhong Pingliang. He had already lost a kidney, and he was still being laughed at. No one would be able to take it. A while ago, I even paid for everyone to go to the beach, and what did they do to me? They mocked me and I hate them. I want to take revenge. Pinliang couldn't hold back the anger in his eyes. Continue. How do you want to take revenge on them? Liu Wanli thought. Was this Pinliang's motive for poisoning his kidney? I didn't know how to take revenge on them. At that time, a relative of mine came to visit me. I told him my idea. He said that he would help me come up with an idea. He said that he would take care of it all. So he helped me come up with a plan to trick them. He asked me to put laxatives in the food in the cafeteria. That way, when they go to the toilet during class, the school's toilets will be full and they will shit their pants. That way, they will lose all their face. They will know how painful it is to be mocked. I can laugh at them as much as I want. Laxatives. Liu Wanli frowned. If Pinliang only put laxatives in the food, it wouldn't be considered a crime. As long as there weren't any serious consequences, it was just a prank. Chapter 683. Surrendering. I just wanted to teach them a lesson. I didn't want to send them to the hospital. The relative who gave me the idea was in the medical business, so I asked him to buy some laxatives for me. The laxatives he bought for you are the poison you put in the cafeteria? Liu Wanli nodded and continued asking. Yes, but he didn't say it was a poison, just a laxative. Pinliang said. He said that the laxative was made up of 7 herbs, and the side effects were minimal, but it'd be a huge problem if everyone in the school got diarrhea. He said that only a few of the 7 herbs would cause diarrhea, and the effects would be different depending on the type of herb taken. That way, no one would suspect anything. Pinliang said. That's right, Pinliang. Liu Wanli nodded. If what Zhong Pingliang said was true, then he might have been used by his relative. After all, the idea and the laxatives were all provided by his relative. Zhong Pingliang was just a person who was tricked into carrying out the plan. From the fact that the relative gave Zhong Pingliang 7 herbs, it could be seen that the relative definitely didn't mistake the other herbs for laxatives. This kind of concoction was done deliberately and meticulously, and this Zhong Pingliang was really dumb. He just did what someone told him to do and he took it seriously. What's your relative's name? Liu Wanli asked. Jin Maoxing, a distant relative of my uncle, Jin Gubang, Zhong Pingliang said. Liu Wanli nodded. Just as he was about to say something, the phone rang. Liu Wanli took it out and saw that it was a call from the team, so he quickly picked up the phone. I'm Liu Wanli, please speak. Captain Liu, a person called Jin Maoxing, came to the police station to surrender. He said that he was the mastermind of the Songshan cafeteria poisoning case. The call was from one of Liu Wangli's subordinates. Oh, okay, I'll go right now. Liu Wanli thought to himself that this was really a coincidence. He had just gotten the name of the criminal suspect, and the other party had already surrendered. But this way, Liu Wanli didn't doubt Zhong Pingliang's words anymore. After hanging up, Liu Wanli turned to Zhong Pingliang. Zhong Pingliang, although you're a victim in this case, you're still responsible for it. Please don't leave Songshan for now until the case is over. All right. Pinliang nodded. I'll be staying in the hospital for a while. I won't wander around. You don't have to be afraid now. The kidney trafficking organization has been wiped out by the police, so you don't have to feel any psychological burden. Liu Wanli said, we hope that you can be a witness for the police. When the time comes, we can accuse the kidney trafficking organization. Ah! The kidney trafficking organization has been wiped out. Pinliang was shocked. He'd just gotten a kidney transplant at noon. How did he get wiped out so quickly? Wasn't this speed a little too fast? Yes, the kidney trafficking organization's headquarters has been uprooted. Of course, if you're worried that the kidney trafficking organization will take revenge on you, We can send some police to protect you while you're in the hospital, Liu Wangli said. Pinliang said that he didn't want to testify because he was afraid of losing face and revenge. It was all bullsh*t to confuse Liu Wangli. But now that he heard that the kidney trafficking organization had been wiped out, Pinliang was tempted. Did Jian Wen get arrested? Pinliang still hated Jian Wen. After all, he was the culprit who cut off his kidney. As for Lin Yi, Pinliang didn't hate him anymore. He'd already given Lin Yi's kidney to himself. Why would he hate Lin Yi? He should pity him instead. A great master in the Lin family had lost a kidney. It would be a joke if people heard about it. He heard from Heibao Bro that Lin Yi was also a golden class master. If he got a golden class master's kidney, would he have the strength of a golden class master? He didn't need all of it, just half would be enough. Pinliang fantasized about a wonderful life where he could dominate the world, planning to test out his strength after he recovered from his illness. So, when he heard that the kidney trafficking organization had been wiped out, Pinliang was actually very happy after the shock. He couldn't do anything to Jian Wen, but the police could. Now that he had a kidney, he didn't need anything from Jian Wen anymore. If it was destroyed, then so be it. Is that so? If I'm a witness, then wouldn't I be able to atone for my crime? Pinliang pretended to be hesitant as he asked. Of course. After all, we need to consider your final punishment, Liu Wangli said. All right, I'll testify. Pinliang nodded, but you have to protect me. I don't want the kidney trafficking organization to take revenge on me, don't worry about that. We will definitely consider the witnesses' safety. Liu Wangli nodded. Pinliang was feeling great. Not only was he fine after poisoning the kidney, he even had the police to protect him. He was too awesome. If Lin Yi saw this, Lin Yi would probably die from anger. Waha. After Liu Wangli left, Zhong Fabai quickly walked into Pinliang's ward. Pinliang, how is it? Is there any problem? It's fine. My acting skills are pretty good. Pinliang said proudly. That Liu Wangli seemed to sympathize with me. He told me that I was tricked. Now that I'm atoning for my crime, there shouldn't be any problem. That's good. Fabai nodded. Everything has been arranged for your uncle Jin Gubang's relative. Master Bing gave his family 3 million as a settlement allowance. His wife died early, and he had 2 sons. He was worried that he wouldn't have enough money to arrange a wedding for them. Now that he has everything, he's overjoyed. He said that it was worth it even if he died. Right, Dad, I heard from Liu Wangli that the police wiped out the kidney trafficking organization. Pinliang lowered his voice. Say, I just got a kidney transplant this afternoon. Why did the police wipe them out so quickly? Did they wipe out Jian Wen's headquarters? No way. So fast. That Jian Wen is really unlucky, Fabai said with an indescribable joy in his heart. His son's kidney was removed. It wasn't as simple as returning one back. Now that his headquarters was wiped out, it was his punishment. But God bless House Zhong. They were wiped out right after you got a kidney transplant. You're really lucky. Chapter 684. Motive. Haha, that's true. Fabai thought about it carefully and it was true. It seemed like House Zhong was going to prosper. Thus, the father and son laughed happily in the ward. After laughing for a while, Zhong Pingliang felt that something was wrong and quickly said, Dad, don't laugh. Liu Wangli said that he would send police to protect me. Don't let them see anything wrong. Fabai's smile stopped abruptly. He almost choked to death. After a while, he said, why didn't you say so earlier? Jin Maoxing had rehearsed many times, so when he arrived at the police station, he was familiar with the process and directly confessed the problem. As for why he surrendered, it was because he watched the TV and couldn't take the pressure anymore. His motive was actually very simple. It was a spur-of-the-moment idea. After listening to Zhong Pingliang's confession, he came up with this revenge plan on the spur of the moment. And the reason why he wanted revenge was because of something that happened a year ago. A year ago, Jin Maoxing's family was very poor. He raised 2 children alone. The money he earned from selling herbs was not enough at all. His daily expenses were enough, but he still had to find wives for his 2 sons, right? Without a house and a car, who would follow you? So, Jin Maoxing's mind became active. He wanted to do something himself, so he found his distant relative, Jin Gubang, and asked him to think of a way to help him. He contracted the cafeteria of Yi High School, which solved the urgent problem. The cafeteria was a money-making job. If it was done well, it wouldn't be a problem to make a few $100,000 a year. Jin Maoxing thought that contracting a cafeteria shouldn't be difficult for Jin Gubang, the second largest shareholder of Pengzhan Industries. In fact, Jin Gubang didn't think it was difficult. Although he was a distant relative, they were still relatives with the same surname. If he could help, he would. It didn't take much effort. It was just a matter of moving his lips. However, he didn't expect that when Jin Gubang raised this suggestion at the board meeting, it was rejected by Pengzhan. The reason was very simple. The cafeteria of Yi High School had to be self-operated. This way, the freshness of the ingredients could be guaranteed, and it could also generate a lot of income for the school. Why not? Gubang was humiliated, and he hated Pengzhan to the core. However, he had always been planning to replace Pengzhan, so he didn't show it, only telling Jin Maoxing what Pengzhan had said. Jin Maoxing failed to contract the cafeteria, and he hated Pengzhan to the core. It wasn't like Pengzhan didn't want to pay the contract fee. They were self-employed, and they wouldn't earn much more than Pengzhan, so why couldn't he contract it? It wasn't like he had nothing to do with it. However, because Jin Gubang was still a shareholder of the group, although Jin Maoxing was unhappy, he did not do anything else. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Zhong Pingliang's confession reminded Jin Maoxing of the hatred from a year ago. Now that Jin Gubang was no longer the chairman of the group, whatever Jin Maoxing did wouldn't affect Jin Gubang anymore. Originally, he was angry because he failed to contract the cafeteria, so Jin Maoxing also set his sights on the school cafeteria. Aren't you self-employed? Then I'll let something happen to you. Let's see what the consequences of self-employment are. Of course, when Jin Maoxing did this, he also considered the consequences. However, he remembered that the poison he used was learned from an old traditional Chinese medicine doctor when he was traveling in Jianghu to collect medicine. It was an ancient prescription that had been lost, and the concoction was complicated. It required 7 herbs to be present at the same time for the poison to be poisoned. The hospital and the police shouldn't be able to find such a special poison, so in the end, he could only let it go. However, he didn't expect that miracle Dr. Guan's medical company actually found it, and they even gave the poison formula to the police. This made Jin Maoxing unable to sit still. He couldn't withstand the pressure, so he came to the police station to surrender. What Jin Maoxing said was reasonable, and the reason for the crime was sufficient. The remaining 7 herbs were also found in his house, which allowed the police to close the case very quickly. As for Zhong Pingliang, Jin Maoxing also made it very clear that he was just using him. It had nothing much to do with Zhong Pingliang. He would take responsibility for what he did, so he didn't want to punish Zhong Pingliang. Liu Wangli was originally full of sympathy for Zhong Pingliang. After a meeting and discussion, since Zhong Pingliang was a victim of the kidney trafficking company, the city was now weakening the influence of the kidney trafficking company on the people. It was not appropriate to publicize Zhong Pingliang's matter too openly. Zhong Pingliang was also bewitched by Jin Maoxing and was deceived by Jin Maoxing. He was also a victim, so he was exempted from criminal punishment, but he still needed to be criticized and educated. However, they didn't know if all the remaining members of the kidney trafficking company were caught. As a victim of the kidney trafficking company, the police still gave Zhong Pingliang the necessary protection measures while he was in the hospital. There were police officers guarding near Zhong Pingliang's ward 24 hours a day. The police needed the victim to testify in court against the crime of the criminal group and Zhong Pingliang. However, after the incident, Liu Wangli called Ding Bingong and talked about Zhong Pingliang's matter alone. Principal Ding, this student Zhong Pingliang is actually very pitiful. One of his kidneys was cut off. It's already tragic enough, and the students are laughing at him. This is not good for his psychological growth. Liu Wangli said, I suggest the school to organize a charity activity and visit Zhong Pingliang in the hospital together. Liu Wangli was doing his best for Zhong Pingliang. In order to prevent his psychological growth from being distorted, he made such a suggestion to the school. Ding Bingong naturally agreed immediately. After all, although the student's academic results were important, the student's psychological quality couldn't be ignored. Thus, the incident of the first high school students fainting together was considered to have temporarily come to an end. The first high school's reputation was basically restored, and they were just waiting for the police to hold a press conference to announce the truth of the matter. As for Tang Yun calling Lin Yi and asking Lin Yi to save his love rival, Liu Xinwen and Kang Xiaobo were helpless. Since Tang Yun was willing, what else could they say? There was nothing going on in the afternoon, so Kang Mingming decided to bring Xiaofen to the hospital for a follow-up. Xiaofen's schizophrenia was obviously much better after a period of treatment. Ever since she met Kang Mingming, Xiaofen had completely lost confidence in Kang Mingming and removed his name from her heart. This was also what Kang Xiaobo was happy to see. Otherwise, Kang Xiaobo would always feel that he was a substitute for Kang Mingming. Chapter 685. Translator, Exodus Tales Editor, Exodus Tales. However, the doctors in the hospital had made it clear that Xiaofen's schizophrenia was mainly caused by her mental illness. She could only be cured by undoing the knot in her heart. The hospital could only control the madness during the illness, and the treatment wouldn't be effective. Kang Xiaobo's appearance gave Xiaofen's parents hope, but they were still worried. Although Kang Xiaobo liked their daughter, would Kang Xiaobo's parents be able to accept their daughter? Of course, everything would be fine if their daughter wasn't in trouble. Although their family wasn't rich, their daughter was beautiful. Kang Xiaobo's family wasn't rich either, so they could be considered a perfect match for each other. But now, not only did their daughter become a broken flower, she even had problems with her legs. Her mental health was better, but she still had a history of mental illness. Although this kind of mental illness formed from emotional trauma wouldn't be inherited, Kang Xiaobo's family might not think so. What if they objected? So, Xiaofen's family was worried, but there was nothing they could do. They could only hope that Kang Xiaobo could deal with it. However, Xiaofen's parents never expected that Kang Xiaobo would bring Xiaofen to Dr. Kang's birthday banquet. Not only did she meet Kang Mingming, but she also met Kang Xiaobo's parent. This put Xiaofen's parents in a perturbed mood. They were afraid that Kang Xiaobo's parents would come looking for them. They were afraid that Kang Xiaobo's parents would separate the two children, but after waiting for a few days, Kang Xiaobo's parents didn't come looking for them. On the contrary, Kang Xiaobo was still the same as before, visiting Xiaofen frequently. This made Xiaofen's parents feel relieved, and at the same time, they were deeply grateful to Kang Xiaobo's parents. However, after asking his daughter about it, he realized that things were not as they had imagined. Kang Xiaobo's parents objected to them being together at first, but because of Lin Yi's help, Kang Xiaobo's parents finally agreed. There was no other reason. Lin Yi gave Kang Xiaobo a chance to stand out. It also gave Kang Xiaobo the confidence and capital to speak in front of his parent. After all, it could be said that Kang Xiaobo had already grown up and could take charge of things on his own. He would handle matters of the heart well. Xiaofen's parents were happy to see Kang Xiaobo, Tang Yun, and Liu Xinwen. However, they were curious. Don't you have school today? Why are you here so early? It's a school holiday, so I'm thinking of bringing Xiao Fen to the hospital for a checkup. Kang Xiaobo smiled as he greeted Xiao Fen's parents. Ian, I wanted to go to the hospital to see Uncle Tang too. I wanted to go for a long time, but my legs aren't convenient. My parents were worried about me, so I went by myself. Xiao Fen heard Kang Xiaobo's suggestion and said happily. Xiao Fen and Tang Yun were good friends since young. She often went to Tang Yun's house to eat, so she was familiar with Tang Yun's parents. Since Tang Juqing was hospitalized, she naturally had to visit. Yeah, we also want to see old Tang, but we don't know when Chibing Real Estate will come to demolish the house. We don't dare to leave, afraid that the bulldozers will come and destroy the house. Xiao Fen's parents sighed. These people are too wicked, there's nothing we can do. It can't be, right? They dare to do that. Kang Xiaobo was shocked. What's wrong with that? They even dare to demolish Tang Yun's house when there's someone in it, let alone those without? Xiao Fen's father said angrily, Old Nyo's house in the front yard was demolished by a bulldozer just because he went out. Now, He has no place to go and his family doesn't even know where to live. They really dare to do that. Kang Xiaobo clenched his fist in anger, but he knew that he wasn't capable enough to change anything, if only boss was willing to do something about it. Wasn't it unbelievable that Lin Yi dared to push down Zhao Qibing's skyscraper and cripple Zhao Qibing without any repercussions? Wasn't it unbelievable? What he didn't understand was why Zhao Qibing didn't take revenge. Bullying the weak and fearing the strong. In fact, what Kang Xiaobo didn't know was why Zhao Qibing didn't take revenge. He did take revenge on Pengzhan, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to resolve it. Forget it, we're just commoners. Those people are more powerful than the mafia, we don't dare to go against them. Xiao Fen's father shook his head. How can Lin Yi take care of everything? Don't give him any more trouble. It wasn't that Xiao Fen's parents didn't want Lin Yi to talk to Zhao Qibing and ask for more compensation, but why would Lin Yi help them? Lin Yi probably didn't care about the compensation. From the way he dealt with Zhao Qibing, it could be seen that he didn't lack money, he just wanted to vent his anger. Kang Xiaobo didn't dare to simply agree. He could only wait until he saw Lin Yi and talk to him. Although he didn't need Lin Yi to take care of everything, he still wanted to help Xiao Fen's family. After all, she was his girlfriend, wasn't she? Kang Xiaobo brought Xiao Fen, Tang Yun, and Liu Xinwen out of the slums. They stopped a taxi and the four of them rushed to the hospital. Kang Jiaoming was shivering in the ice hockey rink. He didn't care about the people looking at him as if he was an idiot. Finally, he felt that he couldn't take it anymore. His body was hot and cold at the same time. Tears and snot flowed down his face. He almost fainted. He turned to Zhu Xiaozhong and asked, "Xiaozhong, can you check if I have a fever?" Zhu Xiaozhong quickly touched Kang Xiaoming's forehead and jumped in fright. "Master Ming, your head is so hot. You can boil water. Is that so? That's great, let's go." Kang Ming clenched his teeth and smiled bitterly. "Yeah, we finally did it." Wang Shubing was happy as well. He felt cold even with his jacket on. He didn't want to stay here any longer. "Haha, I finally caught a cold." Kang Ming was in pain and happiness at the same time. He stood up, laughed, and staggered to the door. The people in the ice hockey rink were dumbfounded. Was this guy an idiot? He finally caught a cold. Did he come here to catch a cold? Could this guy be a mental patient? The girl who took pictures with her phone continued to record this scene. She was ready to upload it to the internet. This was a cold bro. Kang Ming, Zhu Xiaozhong, and Wang Shubing left the ice hockey rink and drove the Porsche Cayenne back to the hospital. He was in a hurry to see Guan Xin. Chapter 686. Another failure. It wasn't easy for them to make it to the First People's Hospital. Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhong also started sneezing, but it wasn't too serious. They supported Kang Jiaoming, who couldn't even stand up, into the hospital. They rushed to the floor where Guan Xin worked and found her in the nurse's office. Achoo! Kang Ming sneezed as soon as he entered the room. Guan Xin, who was preparing medicine, jumped in fright. She turned around and saw Kang Ming walking in with two other people supporting him. She was surprised. "Why are you here again?" "Guan Xin, I'm here to see a doctor." Kang Ming felt like he finally found a reason to talk to Guan Xin. He was excited. "I have a cold, can you give me a shot? Did you register? Did you see a doctor? Do you have a doctor's advice?" Guan Xin furrowed her eyebrows. She didn't understand why Kang Jiaoming was so sick after going out for a walk. It seemed to be very serious. But whether he was sick or not, Guan Xin couldn't give him a shot. How could she give him a shot without a doctor's advice? "Ah! I still need to see a doctor. Look at me, I'm going to die if I don't get a shot." Kang Ming was stunned. He suddenly remembered the procedure of going to the hospital to see a doctor. It was all his fault for having a fever. He was confused and his brain wasn't working, but why didn't Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing remind him? They didn't have a fever, why were they so stupid? He couldn't help but glare at Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing. But in front of Guan Xin, Kang Ming couldn't scold them directly. This was Kang Ming's wish. Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubing were young masters. When they were in the capital, they didn't even need to register for a doctor. especially with Kang Mingming's relationship with Dr. Kang's family. No matter which hospital they went to, they would have someone they knew. They could just find someone they knew to give them the shots and medicine. They didn't even need to register for a doctor. Nurse Guanxin, Master Ming's condition is serious and urgent. We didn't have time to register. Why don't you see him first and I'll go register? Wang Shubing quickly said. Then you should go to the doctor too. Without a doctor's advice, I can't just use the medicine. Guanxin said, since it's so serious, why don't you bring him to the doctor first? Actually, it's like this. I don't know anyone in this hospital. I don't know anyone, and I'm afraid that they'll slander me. Kang Jiaoming suddenly had an idea. Look at how luxurious this hospital is. They must have taken a lot of money from the people. If I don't know anyone in this hospital, I wouldn't dare to do it. You're my only acquaintance, please help me. Kang Mingming was very proud of his wit. This reason was very reasonable. Nowadays, many newspapers and news were reporting on the shady dealings of the hospital. He wasn't spouting nonsense. It was also very reasonable. Just as Kang Mingming was feeling good about himself, Guanxin's face darkened. Our hospital's system is very clear, and we have a clear fee. We can't cheat you, and all of our doctors have medical licenses. There's no way they'll kill you. That's hard to say. Even if the price is clearly marked, there will still be under-the-table manipulation. Kang Mingming's mind was still muddled, and he didn't notice Guanxin's displeasure. He continued to speak in a self-righteous tone. These hospital bosses are all black-hearted. I'm really worried about them. My dad's not evil. Guanxin glared at Kang Mingming before turning around and ignoring him. Kang Mingming froze when he heard Guanxin's words. Then, he suddenly realized what was going on. Guanxin's father, Guan Xiaoxiang, was Guan Xueming's son, and Guan Xueming's youngest son, Guanxin's father, was a shareholder of this hospital. It's over, it's really over. Wasn't he pointing at the mulberry tree and scolding the locust tree? Wouldn't Guanxin hate him to death now? Last time, he called her grandfather a liar, and this time, her father a black-hearted boss. What the hell? Was there any way to salvage the situation? Kang Mingming almost fainted on the spot. Not to mention the awkwardness. It seemed that the flu and fever were really harmful. If one's mind wasn't clear, one's words were easily incoherent. Guanxin, don't be angry, that's not what I meant. I'm not saying that your dad is black-hearted, I'm just scared of some black-hearted businessman. Kang Mingming quickly explained, I have a cold and a fever. My mind isn't clear, so I'm talking nonsense. You can't be calculative with a sick person, right? If you're sick, then go see the doctor. I need to work. Guanxin understood Kang Mingming's thoughts. If it wasn't for the fact that Kang Mingming wanted to pursue her, he wouldn't have come to her. But Guanxin didn't like him, so she wouldn't give him a chance. Kang Jiaoming didn't want to pester Guanxin to accompany him anymore. He glanced at Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong, signaling them to bring him to the registration counter. After all, he could always ask Guanxin for the injection after he got the doctor's order. Not long after Kang Mingming left, Kang Xiaobo came looking for him. Kang Xiaobo didn't know anyone in the hospital, so it was more convenient to bring Xiaofen to the doctor. He met Guanxin through Lin Yi last time, and he knew that she was Guan Xuemin's granddaughter. Kang Xiaobo naturally had a good relationship with her. Guanxin was also happy to be friends with Kang Xiaobo. Why? Guanxin didn't know. Was it because he was Lin Yi's good friend? However, Guanxin still felt a little awkward when she saw Tang Yun beside Kang Xiaobo. It seemed that her little thoughts didn't escape the beautiful girl's eyes. Guanxin, I brought Xiaofen here for a follow-up. Are you busy? Can you take us there? Kang Xiaobo asked with a smile after entering the nurse's office. Of course, let me finish what I'm doing. Guanxin was preparing some medicine for external injuries. She needed to send it to the ward, so she had to prepare it before she could do anything else. Then I'll have to trouble you. Kang Xiaobo nodded gratefully. Sometimes, the doctor wouldn't be in the room, so if Kang Xiaobo brought Xiaofen to the doctor, he might not be able to find her. It's fine, what trouble? Guanxin shook her head, you guys take a seat first, I still need to prepare for a while. Okay, you go ahead. Kang Xiaobo pulled Xiaofan to sit on the sofa, and Tang Yun was a little nervous. As a girl, her intuition told her that there was something between Lin Yi and Guan Xin. Chapter 687. Chapter 687. Spoiling a good thing. As long as she didn't cross the line, she wouldn't care about her, right? From Tang Yun's point of view, her current love rival was Miss. As for Guan Xin, she didn't seem to be a love rival at all. Guan Xin prepared the medicine for a few rooms and personally delivered it over. She returned to the nurse's office and spoke to Kang Xiaobo and the others. I'm done, we can bring Xiaofan to the follow-up. Alright, shall we go now? Kang Xiaobo stood up. No need, I'll bring Xiaofan there, you don't need to follow. Guan Xin didn't want Kang Xiaobo to follow. Xiaofan's mental illness was caused by another man, and the doctor might ask some sensitive questions during the follow-up. It would be awkward if Kang Xiaobo heard it, so Guan Xin decided not to bring Kang Xiaobo. That's fine, I'll have to trouble you then. Kang Xiaobo wasn't stupid. He could guess the situation from Guan Xin's expression, so he didn't insist. Xiaofan was grateful for Guan Xin's understanding. She actually didn't want Kang Xiaobo to follow because the doctor wanted to understand the whole situation. Sometimes, the questions would be awkward. They would even ask how many times she slept with Kang Mingming. It wasn't something that Kang Xiaobo should hear. Tang Yun could feel Guan Xin's understanding. It was hard for a girl like her to not attract boys, but what could she do? She couldn't ask Lin Yi not to meet her, could she? Tang Yun was conflicted. She finally fell in love with him, but why was it so bumpy? She thought that with her looks, it wouldn't be hard to find a boy who would treat her well wholeheartedly. She was satisfied that he treated her well, but the girls around him were all better than her. Some of them were even better than her. She didn't know how to deal with this at all. She had no experience at all. Tang Yun sighed softly as she watched Guan Xin leave. Why was she so unlucky? Her competitors were so strong, how could she feel at ease? Xin Wen patted Tang Yun's shoulder, noticing her disappointment. What's wrong? You're conflicted again. When did I? How could Tang Yun admit it? How could she show weakness in front of her good friend? You're still denying it. Ever since I saw Guan Xin, I've felt like something's wrong with you. Xin Wen understood Tang Yun quite well. Speaking of which, Yun, how far have you and Lin Yi progressed? Tell me the truth. How far can it go? We're just high school students, okay? At most, we'll hold hands, right? Tang Yin was a little shy, but she attributed the lack of progress between her and Lin Yi to the fact that she was still in school. High school? They've had sex since middle school, right? Are you okay, Yun? Have you ever gone online before? A few days ago at Fatty Lai's house, you were talking so much, but it was all a lie. Xin Wen was a little disappointed. Aren't they lying too? I don't believe that they'd dare to play 3P with Lin Yi. Tang Yin felt wronged. If it weren't for Meng Yaro and Yu Shu, she wouldn't have said so many shameless things. I'm not sure about Meng Yaro, but that Yu Shu, it's possible. She looks like she's eager to try. Xin Wen was a good judge of character. I'm telling you, Yun, you have to keep a close eye on Lin Yi, or you won't be able to find a place to cry. How can I stop him if he wants to be with someone else? Tang Yin shook her head. She was full of uncertainty about the future. I really don't know what to say. With your personality, you'll suffer sooner or later. You won't even know when they sleep with Lin Yi, Xin Wen said helplessly. She was disappointed that Tang Yin didn't meet her expectations. What can I do if he wants to sleep with them? Tang Yin seemed to be asking Xin Wen, but it also seemed like she was asking herself. But after asking, Tang Yin shook her head. She didn't want to think about it anymore. These things were too troublesome. Kang Xiaobo couldn't interrupt their conversation. He could only sit on the side and pretend he didn't hear anything. This was School Beauty Tang, after all. Xiaobo had never thought that School Beauty Tang would be so worried about a man. His boss was too amazing. Zhu Xiaozhong helped Kang Mingming register downstairs and rushed to the clinic. Wang Shubing and Kang Mingming were already waiting there. There were many people registering at this hospital, but Zhu Xiaozhong was amazing. He directly cut the queue. When people criticized him, he was arrogant enough to hit them. This made the people who criticized him shut up. After all, Zhu Xiaozhong was fat, big, and tall. Who would want to mess with him? If he wanted to cut the queue, then so be it. Zhu Xiaozhong didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead, he felt proud. He felt that this was the only way he could live up to his nickname of arrogant bro. Kang Mingming went to see the doctor. His illness was simple. It was a common cold caused by a cold. The doctor prescribed him medicine, but Kang Mingming insisted on staying in the hospital. Actually, he didn't have to stay in the hospital due to his illness, but the doctor saw that his fever was very serious and he insisted on staying in the hospital, so he gave him 3 days of hospitalization. Kang Jiaoming looked very rich anyways, so the doctor didn't plan on saving money for him. Kang Mingming took the doctor's order and happily went to find Guan Xin for an injection. This caused Kang Mingming a lot of trouble. In fact, he could go to any general surgery nurse's duty room and treatment room with the doctor's order. But he was here for Guan Xin, so naturally, he wanted to find her. Master Ming, you have to hold on. We're almost at Guan Xin's floor. Hold on a little longer. Wang Shubing saw that Kang Mingming's legs were weak from the fever. He couldn't even walk properly, so he quickly cheered him on. Okay, I'll hold on. Kang Jiaoming gritted his teeth and insisted on going upstairs. Just as he was about to reach Guan Xin's nurse's room, he saw Guan Xin and another girl walking out from the nurse's room. The girl beside Guan Xin, however, made Kang Jiaoming freeze. He subconsciously stopped in his tracks. Master Ming, isn't that Xiao Fen? How come she's with Guan Xin? Zhu Xiaozhong also saw Xiao Fen and Guan Xin walk out together. He was a bit confused. Yeah, how does she know Guan Xin? Wang Shubing was also puzzled. Damn, I remember now. Kang Xiaobo seemed to know Guan Xueming last time. Then it's not strange that Xiao Fen knows Guan Xueming's granddaughter. Kang Mingming's mind finally worked, but he guessed wrong. Xiao Fen and Guan Xin didn't know each other through Guan Xueming. Makes sense. Zhu Xiaozhong nodded, but this is troublesome. Should we go or not? Chapter 688. A ticking time bomb. Master Ming, I don't think it's a problem if we go or not. It's already very troublesome. Wang Shubing shook his head and said seriously, Guan Xin and Xiao Fen know each other. This isn't easy. What do you mean? Even if she knows Guan Xin, she can't be with Guan Xin all the time. Can't she just avoid her? Kang Mingming asked curiously. You can't just avoid her. Master Ming, think about it. What if Xiao Fen spouts nonsense and tells her about what happened between you two? Do you think Guan Xin's impression of you would be good? What chance do you have? Wang Shubing was indeed a schemer. He considered the problem from all angles. Kang Jiaoming frowned at Wang Shubing's words. He wasn't wrong. Xiao Fen was like a ticking time bomb by Guan Xin's side. Who knew when it would explode with a bang and blow him up into a bloody mess? If that's the case, then this Xiao Fen is indeed a big problem. Kang Mingming hated Xiao Fen. Why was this bitch so good at causing trouble? Ever since he met her again, things haven't been going well for the Kang family. Now that he was pursuing Guan Xin, he couldn't let Xiao Fen ruin it. Thinking about this, Kang Mingming's eyes flashed with a hint of ruthlessness. Should we find a chance to kill her? Kang Jiaoming may look like a playful young master on the surface, but he was a bad person at heart. He had done many things like murder and arson without batting an eyelid. When he was in middle school, he dared to plot to kill Xiao Fen. Now he was even worse. I think it's a good idea. She's lucky that we didn't kill her last time. Now she's not staying at home and acting like a mental patient. I think she's looking for death. Zhu Xiaozhong was also a ruthless person. He immediately agreed with Kang Mingming's suggestion. I think we should forget about it. Wang Shubing hesitated. Killing her isn't a good idea. Wang Shubing, when did you become such a coward? Weren't you the one who found the car when we planned to kill Xiao Fen? Zhu Xiaozhong looked at Wang Shubing strangely. Don't tell me you're getting more and more convoluted. Little Zhong, listen to what Wang Shubing has to say. Kang Mingming still cared about Wang Shubing's suggestion. After all, Wang Shubing's brain wasn't bad. He must have his reasons for saying this. Young Master Ming, Kang Xiaobo's friend, Lin Yi, is a fucking lunatic, a complete violent maniac. Wang Shubin was a little scared. We all know that Tang Yun was injured by Zhao Qibing, right? On the day of Zhao Qibing's completion ceremony, Lin Yi demolished the skyscraper and broke Zhao Qibing's leg. Damn it, we'd better not provoke this kind of person. But Xiao Fen isn't Tang Yun. How can Lin Yi handle this? Zhu Xiaozhong was a little scared, but he still tried to defend himself. Xiao Fen is Kang Xiaobo's girlfriend now. If we kill her and it gets exposed, Kang Xiaobo will ask Lin Yi for revenge. It's better to be safe than sorry. If Lin Yi comes, we'll all be dead. Wang Shubing shook his head. That makes sense. Although Kang Mingming was a bad person, he was afraid of death. When he heard that Lin Yi might come for revenge, he immediately gave up on the idea of killing Xiao Fen. It was better not to provoke this kind of violent maniac. How did Lin Yi survive until now? Zhao Qibing seemed to have a lot of power. Why didn't he go after Lin Yi? That's why, young Master Ming, we need to discuss our strategy carefully. How can we solve this problem once and for all? Wang Shubing said. Then what should I do now? Kang Mingming suddenly thought of a very serious problem. When he saw Xiao Fen, he almost forgot that he had a cold. We can only find another nurse now. Guanxin is out of the question. Wang Shubing said helplessly. Damn, I caught a cold for nothing. Kang Jiaoming almost fainted on the spot. He had endured so much pain and almost died. It was only with great difficulty that he managed to catch a cold, but now he couldn't get Guanxin to give him an injection. Young Master Ming, you have to think about it this way. If Xiao Fen came when we were looking for Guanxin, wouldn't we be exposed? Wang Shubing comforted, if that happens, we'll still be able to benefit from a disaster. Now that you put it that way, is it? Kang Mingming thought about it carefully. It was true. He should be happy. If Guanxin hadn't rejected him and had given him the shot, wouldn't he have been exposed in a heartbeat? Thinking about this, Kang Mingming was happy again. It seemed like God was supporting him in pursuing Xiao Fen. With Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong accompanying him, Kang Mingming came to a general surgery treatment room. He gave the doctor's advice to a young and beautiful nurse. Kang Mingming thought that even if he didn't have Guanxin to give him the injection, it would be good to find a beautiful girl. Big eyes, an oval face, and skin that glowed like a spirit. Kang Mingming drooled when he saw her. It was a uniform temptation. Such a beautiful girl, it would be a waste for her to be a nurse here. Kang Xiaoming's mind started to move. He had flirted with a lot of girls in the past few years, but there weren't many of the best quality ones. Xiaofen was one of the top quality ones. If it wasn't for the fact that she was too infatuated with him and wanted to marry him, Kang Xiaoming wouldn't have dumped her so quickly. However, in Kang Mingming's eyes, the nurse in front of him was of the highest quality. She was much better than Xiao Fen. Although she wasn't that tall, she was just right. The key was her figure. Even the white gown couldn't hide her exquisite figure. Kang Mingming's LSD was acting up again. However, when he thought about how his main task was to flirt with Guanxin, Kang Mingming became discouraged again. He could only give up on this beautiful nurse. However, Guanxin was also of the highest quality, so it wasn't too bad. Just as Kang Mingming passed the doctor's advice to the nurse, she turned around and passed it to a tall and sturdy woman. Nurse Wang, there's a patient. Oh, okay. The sturdy woman called Nurse Wang took the doctor's advice and looked at Kang Mingming. It's a cold. First do an allergy test, then give it a muscle injection. If there's nothing else, you can start the drip. Hey, you're going to give it to me. Kang Mingming saw that the sturdy woman was about to give him the injection. He was a bit anxious. He was looking for a beautiful nurse. Why was it a sturdy woman? Chapter 689. Not dead yet I want her to do it for me. Kang Mingming pointed at the beautiful nurse and said, Oh, then let her do it for you. The woman put down her work and walked out of the treatment room. Seeing Kang Mingming's lecherous look, she was annoyed. Did this guy come to the hospital for treatment or to look at beauties? What the hell? How dare he let someone else do it? I hope it won't kill you. Kang Mingming saw that the nurse agreed and was overjoyed. He said to the beautiful nurse, Why don't you do it for me? It's my first day here, I can't do it. The beautiful nurse waved her hands, but seeing Kang Ming Ming's pleading eyes, she said, why don't I try? If it can't go in, I can do it a few more times. Kang Ming Ming was hoping that the nurse would do it for him, but when he heard what the nurse said, his heart went cold. First day here? Trying to prick it? What kind of joke was this? He was not a test subject. What if he died? What's wrong? The beautiful nurse looked at Kang Ming Ming strangely. No, nothing, I'll go and find Nurse Wang. Although Kang Ming Ming was a bit lascivious, he would never joke around with his life for a girl. But Nurse Wang went to the inpatient department, she won't be back for a while. The beautiful nurse looked at Kang Ming Ming with a troubled expression. Why don't I try it for you? Is that all right? My technique is still very good, and I've practiced on dead people before. No need. Kang Ming Ming was shocked. What the hell, you've practiced on dead people before? If I let you do it, I'll probably become a dead person too. This beautiful nurse looked very beautiful, with big eyes and big breasts, but she was a tiger. Was she not afraid of stabbing people to death? How could she give injections a try? Kang Ming Ming didn't want to be killed, so he quickly stood up and forced a smile. There's no need. Is there another treatment room nearby? Oh, there is. Turn left and take the elevator. It's on the second floor underground. The beautiful nurse thought for a moment and said, but it's a little far. You look like you're going to faint. Shall I give you an injection? There's no need. I'm very awake. I won't faint for a while. Kang Ming Ming waved his hand and left the nurse's treatment room with Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong. They ran in the direction of the elevator, cursing as they ran. What kind of *T hospital was this? The intern nurses were too immoral. How dare they use patients for experiments? Young Master Ming, can you do it? Should we rest for a bit? Wang Shubing saw that Kang Ming Ming's head was heavy, so he quickly asked. I'm fine. Let's go get the injection. If I knew this would happen, I would have asked that tough lady to do it for me. I'm so fucking unlucky. Kang Ming Ming thought that he was unlucky every time he met Xiao Fen. It seemed like it was true. The three of them entered the elevator. The lady in charge of the elevator looked at Kang Ming Ming and asked, which floor do we go to? This is the staircase downstairs. Let's go downstairs too, to the second floor underground. Wang Shubing said to the lady. In his heart, he thought, what kind of plan is this hospital? The treatment rooms aren't all together. They're all over the place, and this one is in the basement. The lady looked at the three of them strangely, but she still pressed the button for the second floor underground. When the elevator reached the first floor, everyone on the elevator went down. Only Kang Ming Ming and the other two were left. Kang Ming Ming felt strange. Why didn't anyone go to the basement? When the elevator reached the second floor underground, the elevator door opened. Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong helped Kang Ming Ming out of the elevator. They couldn't help but feel a wave of cold air hit them in the face. The three of them couldn't help but shiver. What entered their nostrils was the smell of decay and medicine. The light in the corridor was very dim. What the hell is this place? How come there's no one here? Kang Ming Ming couldn't help but curse. Wang Shubing also felt strange. When he raised his head, he was shocked. He subconsciously took 2 steps back. He was still supporting Kang Ming Ming. When he stepped back, Kang Ming Ming couldn't help but stumble. Kang Ming Ming couldn't help but curse. What are you doing? Do you want to kill me? Master Ming, here. Zhu Xiaozhong raised his head and also noticed something was wrong. Only Kang Ming Ming couldn't lift his head. What's wrong? If you have something to say, spit it out. Kang Ming Ming said impatiently. Hurry up and look, where can I get an injection? Master Ming, you can't get an injection here. Zhu Xiaozhong said. Can't get an injection? Kang Ming Ming was stunned. What do you mean? This is the place to give injections to the dead. Zhu Xiaozhong pointed in front of them and said in a panic, Master Ming, this is the morgue. What? Kang Ming Ming heard Zhu Xiaozhong's words and suddenly jumped. He raised his head and looked. Wasn't that right? The words morgue were written in big letters. Under the dim light of the corridor, it looked especially eerie. Catcher, just as the three of them were panicking, a sound came from the door of the morgue. Run. Kang Mingming also forgot that he was a patient. He didn't know where he got the strength to turn around and rush out of the elevator. He madly pressed the elevator button, but the elevator had already gone up more than 10 floors. It would take a while for the elevator to descend. Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong were also nervous. Although they reminded themselves in their hearts, how could there be a ghost in broad daylight? However, the atmosphere here was indeed eerie. It made their hearts beat faster for no reason. The door of the morgue slowly opened, and a morgue cart slowly slid out from the small door of the morgue. Kang Mingming heard the sound and turned around. He suddenly fainted. His body was already weak, and with the addition of fright, how could he stand it? On the other hand, Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong, although scared, were relieved when they saw what was behind the morgue cart. A little old man was pushing the mortuary cart towards the elevator. The lights were dim, and the old man was short. Naturally, people would think that the mortuary cart was moving on its own. The old man also saw Wang Shubing and Zhu Xiaozhong, but when he saw Kang Mingming on the ground, he immediately asked, "Another one died. Why did you guys send him here yourself? Where's the doctor?" Chapter 690. Change your name, okay? Wrong direction. The old man shook his head and ignored the three of them. He continued to wait for the elevator. Kang Jiaoming fainted on the spot. He didn't know what fear was, but Zhu Xiaozhong and Wang Shubin were scared out of their wits. They were standing next to a corpse. How could they not be scared? After Kang Mingming and the other two left, the beautiful nurse took out 3 big wallets from her white coat and opened them. She couldn't help but smile instantly, and her eyes curved into the shape of a crescent moon. "I didn't expect these 3 perverts to be so rich. H, this is what you get for being lecherous. I'll send you to the morgue." The beautiful nurse quickly took out the money from the wallet and put it in her pocket. Then she threw the 3 wallets out of the window. After a while, Nurse Wang came back with a swaddle in her hand. Seeing that Kang Mingming and the other 2 people were gone, she asked curiously, "Where are they?" Nurse Wang saw that Kang Mingming was a little unreliable, so she wanted to teach him a lesson. Anyway, he wouldn't die from a cold, so she deliberately went out to do other things. She planned to give them an injection when she came back, but when she came back, she found that Kang Mingming was gone. Maybe he couldn't wait and went to another place to get an injection? The beautiful nurse pretended not to know. She skipped over and took the swaddle from Nurse Wang's hands. She looked at it and said, "Wow, it's a cute princess. Yeah, these parents are really cruel. They just left him in the hospital." The parents also left a fake name. The police can't find any information. Nurse Wang sighed. "It's all thanks to your orphanage. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with the abandoned babies in the hospital. They value men more than women." The baby girl in the beautiful nurse's hands seemed to be able to understand words. Hearing that her parents didn't want her, she couldn't help but cry. The beautiful nurse hurriedly coaxed the child, don't cry, little baby. Big sister Xiao Ku will take you to your new home. There are many big brothers and sisters, little darling. Big sister Xiao Ku will buy milk powder for you later." The beautiful nurse's voice was very pleasant, as if she was born to coax these children. When the baby girl heard the beautiful nurse's words, she stopped crying. The beautiful nurse shook her eyebrows for a while, and the baby girl fell into a deep sleep. Xiao Ku, head nurse son from the obstetrics and gynecology department, is on leave today, so you don't have to look for her. Why don't you just take the child home? The procedures are here. I've already done it for you. Nurse Wang handed a folder to the beautiful nurse. Thank you, Nurse Wang. Then I'll go first. The beautiful nurse took the child's file and thanked him with a smile. What are you thanking me for? Our hospital has to thank you. Otherwise, we don't know what to do with these children. Nurse Wang waved her hand. Then I'll go first. The beautiful nurse took off her white coat and returned it to Nurse Wang. Here, the air conditioning in this room is quite cold. I'm used to a house without air conditioning, so I'm really not used to it. Nurse Wang shook her head, took the white coat, and sent the beautiful nurse away. Lin Yi left the hospital, stopped a taxi, and went back to the villa first. There was nothing to do in the hospital. Miss probably didn't want to see him now. After all, the situation before was too embarrassing. Lin Yi was a little regretful. It would have been better to find a random male student to force the poison out. However, he didn't have full confidence that he could concoct the antidote for the poison. He couldn't take the risk. If he had to choose again, he would still save Miss first. As for whether the others could be cured or not, it really didn't have much to do with Lin Yi. Deadly 7 herbs poison, a poison that had been lost in history, actually appeared here. Although Lin Yi didn't say anything when he was in the hospital, he had to report this news to the old man as soon as possible. There was still someone who knew about this poison. Which faction sent him here? This incident was obviously not random. It was premeditated. Was it targeted at Chu Pengzhan or Meng Yaro? Lin Yi didn't know about these. He had to ask Lingshan to know the details. He could call Lingshan in the car, but calling the old man was a bit secretive. Lin Yi had to go home first. Miss Braindead, is there any result on the poisoning? Lin Yi called Lingshan. Lingshan was so angry that she clenched her teeth. Why did he call her Miss Braindead again? She thought he stopped calling her that. This title doesn't sound good, okay? Although Lingshan tried very hard to treat it as a nickname or pet name that Lin Yi called her, she couldn't do it. Lin Yi, we're already like this. Can you not call me Miss Braindead in the future? Lingshan wanted to protest, but she had to think of a countermeasure. Protesting directly to Lin Yi obviously wouldn't work, but Lingshan knew that Lin Yi's weakness was soft-heartedness. If she said it nicely, it might work. Okay, then what should I call you? Tigress? Lin Yi asked. Yeah. You can call her Lil Song Girl or Cute Girl, that's fine too. Tigress Girl sounds too bad. Lingshan realized that Lin Yi was more interested in the XX girl combination, and didn't dare change it too much. She suggested 2 nicknames that she could accept. Oh, then I'll call you Little Dumb Girl. Lin Yi didn't take Lingshan's answer. Okay. Lingshan gritted her teeth. Little Dumb Girl it is, at least it sounded better than Miss Braindead, right? Although the meaning was similar, it didn't sound as insulting. Things had to be done step by step, didn't they? Rome wasn't built in a day. Lingshan felt that if she worked hard, she could definitely become Cute Girl or something. Lingshan couldn't help but feel disgusted by her own thoughts. Was she a bitch? Satisfied just like that? And she was hoping that Lin Yi would call her Cute Girl? If this matter were to spread out, how could anyone live? But, other than being a little angry, Lingshan didn't feel any repulsion at all. Little Dumb Girl, is there any result for the poisoning? Lin Yi asked. Chapter 691. Chapter 691, The Hidden Family. However, Lingshan didn't know that Lin Yi was the one who discovered the poison, and Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was just a spokesperson. Zhong Pingliang? Lin Yi paused. How did this have anything to do with Zhong Pingliang? This kid had lost his kidney, and he still came out to poison people. Yes, but Zhong Pingliang is also a victim. We decided to exempt him from punishment. Of course, I don't agree with it personally, but I can't decide the final result, Lingshan said faintly. She didn't have a good impression of Fabai and his son, but I heard that there are people protecting Zhong Pingliang from above. I think he's been hanging out with Zhao Qibing recently. I understand. Lin Yi finally understood who was the mastermind behind this. If there were no accidents, it should be Zhao Qibing, and other than Uncle Zhu, there were other masters behind him. Is there anything else? I helped you, aren't you going to treat Miss Braindead for a meal? Lingshan had gotten used to calling herself Miss Braindead in front of Lin Yi, and she almost said it out loud. What was wrong with her mouth? She wanted to be Miss Braindead. You got it wrong, right? Lin Yi realized that Lingshan and the Miss were 2 different types of people. They'd both had their bodies seen, and they'd both seen embarrassing things, but Lingshan had gotten a lot closer to him all of a sudden, while the Miss was a lot colder. Then I can treat you, Lingshan said. Come to my house next Saturday. I don't have time, Lin Yi said faintly, rejecting her directly. Lin Yi felt that Miss Song was very pretty, and very seductive. It would be nice to have something happen with her, right? But the consequences. He was already annoyed enough right now. If she got closer to him, he wouldn't be able to do anything else if she came looking for him. Oh, next time then. Lingshan was a little disappointed. Lin Yi really didn't seem to be interested in her at all. Her seduction had failed. Lin Yi's guess was right. Lingshan really did see Lin Yi as a sucker. She'd already seen it, and she'd gotten the short end of the stick. There was nothing she could do about it, so she might as well ask Lin Yi for help. Lingshan wanted Lin Yi to solve all the cases in the police force, like the burglary group, the motorcycle gang, and so on. These organizations had been around for a long time, and it was hard to take them all out at once, but Lingshan still had some hope. His current momentum was very good. If he continued to develop like this, it would not be a dream to be promoted to bureau chief. How long had he been in office? He had solved so many big cases in a row. The current Lingshan was much more at ease than before. She thought that since she'd been seen by Lin Yi, she could be considered Lin Yi's girl. He'd help her solve the cases. What burden would she have? Lin Yi hung up the phone, feeling a bit of a headache. He'd saved Lingshan, and now this Miss Song had learned how to pester him endlessly. She was much smarter than before. After returning to the villa, Lin Yi called old Lin. There was no one in the villa, so Lin Yi didn't need to hide from anyone. Old man, someone used deadly 7 herbs poison here. Oh. Old Lin paused. After a while, he asked, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure. I tasted it." Lin Yi said. "Could it be that those people came out again?" Old Lin said uncertainly. "Who?" Lin Yi asked. "People from the hidden house." Old Lin said. "Hidden house? I've heard of the 4 big and 5 small noble houses, but I've never heard of any hidden house. What do they do?" Lin Yi paused. The 4 big and 5 small noble houses are just some noble houses that formed later in the common world. They can't be compared to the hidden houses at all. Old Lin said, "But I don't know much about the hidden houses. Your master knows more than me because he was one of the people involved back then. According to the agreement from more than 10 years ago, some ancient martial arts houses need to live in seclusion. Otherwise, their appearance will destroy a lot of the current order." "Oh. My master." Lin Yi paused. He didn't expect his master to be related to the hidden houses. Among these hidden houses, there's a medical family, Yunnan's Houseyu. Although they're proficient in medicine, they're best at using it to harm people. They're also very good at Gu. Old Lin said, "But according to the agreement, Houseyu doesn't allow their disciples to walk in the common world. They can only serve the big and hidden houses." "You're saying that this Houseyu knows the recipe of deadly 7 herbs poison?" Lin Yi asked with a frown. "It's possible, but I'm not sure." Old Lin said, "You should pay attention to this matter first, but don't worry about it. With your current strength, you can't reach that level. They don't dare to violate the agreement from back then. Otherwise, your master wouldn't be able to ignore it." "Okay, I got it." Since Old Lin had said so, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't continue asking. Although his current strength was enough to roam the common world, he wouldn't be able to do anything to those hidden monsters. "Is there anything else?" "Oh right, I've already given the medicine you asked Gauden to get, but this kid is busy with spring plowing. He'll have to wait for a few days." Old Lin said. "This is not urgent." Lin Yi said, "Oh right, do you know about the Wanianshan box?" Lin Yi suddenly remembered the Wanianshan box he got at the auction, but he didn't know what it was used for. After coming back from the auction, he had been busy with all kinds of things. He also forgot about the box until now. Wanianshan box. I've heard of this before. There's an introduction in an ancient book at home. Old Lin thought about it and said, "Why do you ask?" "I think I have one with me." Lin Yi said. "What?" Old Lin was shocked. "You have it. How did you get it? You actually have something that can only appear in ancient books." "I got it by chance at an auction." Lin Yi didn't expect Old Lin to have such a big reaction. Could it be that this Wanianshan box was really special? So he asked, "Old man, is this thing good? How can it not be good when it's mentioned in ancient books?" Old Lin asked back. "Oh, then this Wanianshan box, what is it used for?" Lin Yi's curiosity was also piqued, and he quickly asked. I really don't know what it's used for. Old Lin changed the topic. Huh. Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect old Lin to answer like this. He couldn't help but be surprised. You don't know? Chapter 692. Chapter 692, Female Cat Burglar Yu Xiaoke. Lin Yi was speechless. Then why are you so surprised? I thought it was something good. It's natural to be surprised. How can I not be surprised if you can get something from an ancient book? Old Lin rolled his eyes and retorted, also, how can something mentioned in the ancient book not be good? But even if it's good, the book didn't mention how to use it. It only mentioned that it's similar to a fresh-keeping container. It can keep medicine from going bad for 10,000 years. But it definitely has more than one function, it's just lost. This. Lin Yi rolled his eyes. Then you didn't say anything. I'll research it myself. Lin Yi hung up the phone. He didn't know what to say. Old Lin's words had no value at all. It made Lin Yi very distressed. It was like getting a high-level magical weapon in a game, but he didn't know how to use it. He was happy, but he couldn't open it. Fortunately, reality wasn't a game. He didn't need to worry about the space in his backpack. He could store some junk. Lin Yi put the Wanianshan box and the 2 pieces of the map into the drawer. Since they were useless now, Lin Yi could only see them as junk. After calling old Lin, Lin Yi called Tang Yun. Hello. Tang Yun was waiting for Fen in the nurse's room when her phone rang. Tang Yun looked at the caller ID and was instantly happy. Lin Yi, where are you? Is Meng Yaro okay? Tang Yun didn't know why, but the first thing she asked was Meng Yaro. Was she really worried about Meng Yaro, or was she worried about whether Lin Yi and Meng Yaro were together now? Tang Yun didn't know herself. She's fine now. Lin Yi didn't know how to explain it to Tang Yun. Although it was to save Meng Yaro, it was still an awkward scene. I'm at home, she's still in the hospital. Oh. Tang Yun let out a sigh of relief. She was afraid that Meng Yaro would use some unorthodox methods to compete with her. For example, she could ask Lin Yi to stay by her side while she was sick. She could say that she needed protection during her illness. Tang Yun didn't have any complaints about that. Where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm in the hospital with Xiao Fen. Guanxin brought her there, Tang Yun said. I'll go look for you. Lin Yi didn't know if Tang Yun did it on purpose or not, but Lin Yi didn't know how to respond when Guanxin was mentioned. That's fine too. Tang Yin nodded. My mom wanted to talk to you about buying a house. You can't stay in the hospital forever, can you? My dad's leg is almost healed. The doctor said that he only needs to rest at home. Okay, I'll go now. Lin Yi didn't have anything to do anyway. He hung up and left the villa. But he remembered that he'd left his car at the food street behind the school. He'd left with Jianwen's car in the afternoon, and he'd taken a taxi to get here. It was unnecessary to go to the school to get his car. Tang Yun already knew about his relationship with the Miss Lin Yi drove Yushu's yellow beetle. Lin Yi had just parked the car in the parking lot of the Songshan First People's Hospital when a middle-aged beggar with a cane came up to him. Young man, do me a favor and give me some money. As soon as the beggar came up, he began to talk incessantly. My leg was injured when I was working at the construction site. The black-hearted contractor didn't give me a single cent, so I can only rely on begging to save up for medical expenses. Do me a favor, I won't mind 100 or 2. 100 or 2 wasn't mind a favor. Lin Yi couldn't help but be amused. This beggar's appetite was too big. 100 or 2? Wasn't he afraid of biting his tongue? If he'd only asked for 8 or 10 kwai, Lin Yi might have just given him some change and sent him on his way, but this beggar was crossing the line. Naturally, Lin Yi was getting annoyed. He looked at the beggar faintly and said one word. Scram. But the beggar didn't leave. Instead, he blocked the front of Lin Yi's car and refused to leave. If you don't give me money, I'll keep sitting here. Don't leave today, I'm a disabled man, what's there to be afraid of? Don't come back if you can. Ha! Lin Yi laughed at the beggar's stubbornness. He took out the silver needle box from his pocket and opened it. He looked at the beggar and said faintly, Your leg is broken? It's just right. I'll help you cure it. As Lin Yi said this, he took out a silver needle and was about to stab the beggar. The beggar was shocked. He didn't expect Lin Yi to carry silver needles with him. He was a little timid. He looked at Lin Yi with hatred, turned around, and quickly left with his cane. Lin Yi sneered and put away the silver needle box. To deal with this kind of person, he naturally had to be more domineering than them. Lin Yi locked the car and was about to walk into the hospital, but he was stopped by a girl. Lin Yi frowned. The girl was pretty, with an oval face, big eyes, and arched eyebrows. She looked a bit like a girl from a romance novel, but her expression wasn't very pleasant. It was as if she was going to eat Lin Yi alive. Her eyebrows were filled with anger, as if he owed her a lot of money. Hey, why are you like this? Don't you have any sympathy? He's a disabled man, okay? Not only did you not pay, but you scared him away with a weapon. Yu Xiaoke was angry, really angry. She hated rich and heartless people like Lin Yi the most. He drove such a good car, but he didn't have the slightest bit of sympathy. Not only did he not pay, he even threatened the beggar with a weapon. He was so wicked to a certain extent. With a weapon. Lin Yi was slightly stunned. He then remembered the silver needle in his hand. It seemed that this brave girl had misunderstood him. However, Lin Yi was too lazy to explain to her. He shook his head and turned to leave. Hey, I'm talking to you. Yu Xiaoke was even more angry. She grabbed Lin Yi's clothes and didn't let him leave. The person in front of her not only didn't know how to repent, but also ignored her words. He looked like he didn't care. If she didn't teach him a lesson today, how could she face herself? This rich and heartless fat sheep. If she didn't make a move, then even the heavens would blame her. Say what? That beggar? Lin Yi frowned. If you pity him, then give him money. Chapter 693. I want to challenge you, of course. I'll give him the money now. Xiaoke ignored Lin Yi and ran to the beggar. With her back facing Lin Yi, she took out a wallet and gave 100 yuan to the beggar. The beggar's eyes lit up as he thanked her. Xiaoke, on the other hand, left the hospital in a flash. I'm making money. I don't even know how to spend it. I'll buy a Nokia with my left hand, a Motorola with my right. Xiaoke sang happily as she counted the money in her wallet. 3,000 yuan for a beetle? It wasn't even as good as the 3 perverts she met at noon, but Xiaoke was still happy. She earned 3,000 yuan in a blink of an eye, especially after teaching that heartless rich young master a lesson. Bang! Xiaoke suddenly bumped into someone, scaring her. It was her fault for being too engrossed, counting money as she walked without looking at the road. Xiaoke said subconsciously, sorry, I didn't see the road. I'll help you if you don't know how to spend it. Lin Yi blocked Xiaoke's path. Xiaoke froze and raised her head. She didn't expect it to be that rich young master from before. You. Why are you here? You're quite rich, aren't you? Lin Yi took out a lady's wallet and looked at the money in it. 10,000 yuan? Quite a lot, huh? Xiaoke was shocked when she saw the wallet in Lin Yi's hand. She subconsciously touched her pocket, but her face paled when she touched it. My wallet. Why is it here? Oh, I thought you wanted to use your big wallet to exchange for my small wallet. Lin Yi said faintly. No wonder you gave 100 yuan to a scammer. You had too much money to burn. You're lying. When did I give money to a scammer? Xiaoke glared at Lin Yi. The beggar from before was a liar, Lin Yi said mockingly. His leg isn't lame at all. It's fine. He's healthier than you. Lin Yi was proficient in the art of medicine. Naturally, he could tell whether the beggar was really lame or not at first glance. When Lin Yi wanted to treat the beggar, not only did the beggar not stay, but he also ran away, which naturally explained the problem. What evidence do you have? Xiaoke frowned after hearing Lin Yi's word. She was not stupid. She often committed crimes in this area. She had seen the beggar more than once or twice, but she did not think much about it before. But today, after thinking about it carefully, the beggar had been begging here for at least half a year. The money he asked for was already enough to see a doctor. Why didn't he go to see a doctor but continued to beg? But Xiaoke didn't want to admit her mistakes, especially in front of Lin Yi. This scoundrel who stole my wallet. I'm too lazy to talk to you about this. Lin Yi snatched his wallet from Xiaoke's hand. With your skills, You still dare to come out to steal? Go back and train for a few years before coming out to embarrass yourself. She was a girl, so Lin Yi was too lazy to argue with her. As for her wallet, Lin Yi decided to confiscate it to teach her a lesson. You! Don't go! Xiaoke panicked. Not only did Lin Yi steal her earnings today, but he also humiliated her skills. Xiaoke had always thought of herself as the #1 thief, but Lin Yi didn't just steal her wallet, he even told her to go home and practice for a few more years. This was a blatant provocation. Xiaoke had always thought of herself as the #1 thief. Lin Yi naturally ignored her. He still needed to go to the hospital. How could he waste time with this female thief? I want to challenge you. As the 46th generation disciple of the Feiyan sect, how could Xiaoke let Lin Yi go? This guy dared to look down on a disciple of the Feiyan sect. How could Xiaoke tolerate it? She was only 18 years old. She was young and full of vigor. Naturally, she wouldn't admit defeat. Regarding the Feiyan sect, see Very Pure Very Ambiguous prequel, also known as Rebirth Chasing Beauty. Challenge? Challenge what? Lin Yi looked at Xiaoke. He felt that this girl was a little crazy. This thief was too much. She didn't want to escape after he saw her. Instead, she wanted to challenge him. If she met the police, she'd be in jail already. Of course it's the art of stealing. Xiaoke puffed out her chest and stared at her big wallet in Lin Yi's hand. If it's chest, I can consider it. But I'm sorry, I'm not interested in stealing. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoke's chest lecherously. It wasn't very big, but it was very firm. It seemed that she exercised a lot, so her chest muscles were quite developed. Xiaoke was going crazy. She had been in the business for so long, but she had never been robbed by someone. Today was the first time. This made her angry, but at the same time, she felt humiliated. She was the heir of the Feiyan sect. The Feiyan sect was the #1 thief sect in the world. How could she lose to someone else? Plus, Xiaoke didn't think that it was because she wasn't as skilled as Lin Yi, but because she was too excited when counting the money and bumped into Lin Yi, giving him the chance to steal her wallet. In fact, Lin Yi had already stolen her wallet when she stole it. It was just that she didn't feel it. Lin Yi ignored her and turned to leave. Lin Yi felt that there was something wrong with this girl's head. With this kind of mentality, she still came out to be a thief and challenged others. Seeing that Lin Yi was ignoring her, Xiaoke gritted her teeth in anger, but there was nothing she could do. This was the first time Xiaoke encountered something like this, and she didn't know what to do. Seeing that Lin Yi was leaving, she followed him. Even if Lin Yi didn't want to compete with her, she still had to get her wallet back. That was the biggest reward of the month. How could she let it be taken away so easily? Xiaoke wasn't willing. Lin Yi didn't think that Xiaoke would follow him. This made Lin Yi not know whether to laugh or cry. At the same time, he felt that Xiaoke really wasn't suited to be a thief. To be a thief to this extent, she was really stupid. If he went to the police station, would she follow him? Xiaoke followed Lin Yi. She was confident in her qinggong. The Feiyan sect was famous for their qinggong. Although she wasn't very skilled, she wasn't slow. From her point of view, following Lin Yi was a piece of cake. She was looking for a suitable opportunity to steal all of Lin Yi's wallet. However, at the corner of a street, Xiaoke froze. Because Lin Yi was gone. Chapter 694. I'm so pissed. You're looking for me. Lin Yi's voice came from behind Xiaoke. Xiaoke jumped in fright and shivered, her scalp tingling. How did this person appear behind her without a sound? Why are you behind me? Xiaoke turned around and looked at Lin Yi cautiously. Was this person a ghost? Didn't you ask me? Lin Yi asked. You. Xiaoke glared at Lin Yi, not knowing what to say. You want to learn how to stalk with that level of skill? Go home and rest. This world is actually very dangerous. It's unbelievable that someone like you could survive until now. Lin Yi looked at Xiaoke sympathetically. He was a decent person. If it was someone else, Xiaoke wouldn't even be able to find a place to cry. You're the unbelievable one. Xiaoke looked at Lin Yi angrily. Hey, are you in the same trade? Xiaoke felt that Lin Yi might be in the same trade. Otherwise, How could he be so good at stealing and be so elusive? Ha! Maybe you can be in the same trade if you practice for a few more years. Lin Yi smiled. Since you're so good, then accept my challenge. Xiaoke tried to provoke him. Hey, are you afraid of losing? That's why you don't dare to accept my challenge? Whatever you think. Lin Yi shrugged. Don't follow me, you can't keep up with me. Xiaoke really didn't know what to do. Facing someone like Lin Yi who wouldn't budge, what could she do? She gritted her teeth, unwilling to give up. Then can you give me back my wallet? Oh, I'll give it to you. I don't have much use for it anyway. Lin Yi agreed readily. Xiaoke was overjoyed. She was about to thank him when she saw her wallet flying towards her. She quickly caught it. But when he took a look, he was dumbfounded because his wallet was empty. There was not a dime left of his 10,000 yuan. Hey, where's my money? Xiaoke felt like she was being played. You only asked for your wallet, not your money. Lin Yi smiled and quickly left. Remember my words. Go back and train for a few years before coming out. Otherwise, you'll be finished sooner or later. Also, it's hard for me to understand. Are you really compassionate, or are you trying to steal my wallet by accusing me? I don't like the way you do things. I'm so mad. How infuriating. Xiaoke looked at Lin Yi's back and stomped her feet as if she wanted to crush Lin Yi. I'll stomp you to death, I'll stomp you to death. That's what you get for acting tough in front of me. That's what you get for looking down on me. That's what you get for. My leg. Xiaoke stepped on a stone and almost fractured her foot. Lin Yi turned a corner and returned to the hospital. The beggar was still begging there. When he saw Lin Yi, his eyes avoided eye contact. However, Lin Yi didn't want to do anything to the beggar. Whether he was lying or not had nothing to do with him. In the nurse's room upstairs, Lin Yi saw Tang Yun. Xiaofen and Guan Xin had just returned from the consultation. Guan Xin saw Lin Yi and blushed. She wanted to say something, but she held it back when she saw Tang Yun. On the other hand, Lin Yi took the initiative to greet Guan Xin. Xin, how's Xiaofen's illness? Actually, Lin Yi could see that Xiaofen's spirit was much better. Her illness came from her heart. Now that the knot in her heart was untied, it wasn't a big problem anymore. It was just that the side effects from before still needed to be controlled with medication. It's nothing. The doctor said that if the illness doesn't act up again, you don't need to come to the hospital anymore. Guan Xin shook her head. Sorry to trouble you. Lin Yi nodded. I saw Grandpa Guan today, but it was a bit rushed. I'll visit another day. Guan Xin nodded. She wanted to say that she wanted to cook for Lin Yi, but Tang Yun was also there. She didn't want to say it directly. She was afraid that Tang Yun would misunderstand. She hesitated and said, Tang Yun, why don't you come as well? I'll cook for you guys. I won't be going. I've been quite busy recently. I don't know what to do now that my house is gone. Tang Yun was a bit embarrassed to go. It seemed like she didn't trust Lin Yi. Wouldn't that make her look petty? Tang Yun replied to Guan Xin's invitation, but I've troubled you a lot with Xiaofen and my father. I should treat you. When my house is settled, I'll cook for you. Sure. Guan Xin agreed with a smile. As they were talking, someone called Guan Xin at the door. Guan Xin went to work, while Lin Yi and Tang Yun went to Tang Juqing's ward. Kang Xiaobo, Xiaofen, and Liu Xinwen left first. They knew that Tang Yun's family was looking for Lin Yi to discuss about the house. It wasn't appropriate for them to participate. Uncle Tang, how do you feel? Lin Yi saw that Tang Juqing could walk with the help of the crutches. His recovery was quite fast. Not bad. He's much stronger than the last time. Your Chinese medicine is very effective. Even the doctors in the hospital were surprised. Tang Juqing smiled, but they asked me for the Chinese medicine prescription. I didn't give it to them. I said that I bought it with money and I don't have the prescription. Lin Yi nodded. It seemed that Tang Juqing wasn't a stubborn person. He was quite smart. He knew that the prescription was very valuable and couldn't be given away easily. This kind of medicine that could accelerate bone growth could be mass-produced. The economic benefits wouldn't be small. Don't give them the prescription. If anyone asks, Just tell them that Professor Guan made it for you. They won't ask anymore. Lin Yi found a shield for Tang Jucheng. In the medical system, Guan Xuemin's prestige was irreplaceable. Right, Uncle Tang, Auntie Wang, I heard from Tang Yun that you were looking for me. Yeah, Lil Yi, I was thinking about looking for you to see if we could buy a house. It's not good for us to stay in the hospital. The hospital fees are more expensive than a hotel. It's not worth it. Although Mrs. Tang didn't pay for it, she still felt bad. Wouldn't it be better if Lin Yi gave it to her? That's true. The hospital isn't as good as our home. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't think about it before. Lin Yi didn't have a place to live. He was used to this kind of wandering life. However, Tang Yun's family was different. They were ordinary people. They didn't feel comfortable without a home. Chapter 695. Special offer room. What about the demolition at Shantytown? Is there any movement? Lin Yi didn't pay attention to Master Bing's movements these few days. He only heard that he was rebuilding Chibing's skyscraper again. This time, he found a very efficient construction company, and the framework was already up. Of course, although Lin Yi destroyed his house and broke his leg, his business still had to continue. The slums still had to be demolished, but Lin Yi didn't know if he learned his lesson. They said that they're going to have a meeting with everyone to discuss the compensation. After what happened last time, they'll probably increase the price a little, but it won't be too high. Mrs. Tang sighed, our house is gone, we'll just have to compensate as much as we can. I don't want to think about that anymore. Now that I think about it, should I rent a house or buy one? Lin Yi couldn't interfere with the compensation. He couldn't go to Zhao Chibing again and force him to compensate Mrs. Tang, could he? He destroyed one of his skyscrapers, so they were barely even. He would let him go for now. If Zhao Chibing knew what Lin Yi was thinking, he'd probably vomit blood in anger. A skyscraper for a broken house, and it was barely enough. Wasn't this too much of a scam? Let's buy one. Renting isn't a solution. Lin Yi thought that buying a house was better than renting one. Buy a house. Mrs. Tang's heart ached. Tang Jucheng and Tang Yun also wanted to buy a house. Now that they had the 500,000 from Lin Yi and some money from before, it was more than enough to buy a big house. But Mrs. Tang didn't want to spend all the money in one go. If that happened, the family would have no savings, and the feeling of being rich would be gone again. How could Lin Yi not know what Mrs. Tang was thinking when he saw her pained expression? He smiled faintly. Aunt Wang, I know a friend. He used to be in the real estate business, so he should know a lot of developers. I'll give him a call and see if there are any special offer rooms. All right, that's great. Can you help me ask? Mrs. Tang's greedy personality had not changed at all. When she heard that Lin Yi could get a special price house, she immediately perked up. Actually, even if Lin Yi couldn't get a special price house, Mrs. Tang would still agree to buy a house under Tang Jucheng and Tang Yun's insistence. But now that Lin Yi could use his connections to save some money, why not? Mrs. Tang was very happy that she wanted to talk to Lin Yi instead of foolishly running off to buy a house. Wouldn't that be a huge loss? Lin Yi gave Fatty Lai a call. Fatty Lai was in a state of extreme excitement. The press conference was very successful, and he believed that there wouldn't be any more advertisements before the products hit the market. With all these media reports, it would be hard for Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company not to be famous. After all, the fainting incident in the first high school was heavily hyped up by Direwolf. The number of comments on the internet was calculated in units of hundreds of millions. All the netizens in the country were paying attention to this matter. Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company solved the fainting incident at the most crucial moment and formulated the corresponding antidote. This kind of reaction speed was enough to make them look down on everyone. By then, Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's name would be spread all over the internet. Boss. Fatty Lai picked up the phone. I heard that your press conference was quite successful. Although Lin Yi didn't see it himself, he heard the taxi drivers talking about it on the way here. They said how amazing Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company was. Even the hospital couldn't cure the disease, but they cured it. If it wasn't for Boss's powerful prescription, everything I did would be in vain. Fatty Lai's mind was still very clear. He didn't get complacent because of it. He understood that everything was because of Lin Yi's prescription and antidote. If it wasn't for these two, people would have to believe him no matter how much he boasted. "Heh, you've done very well," Lin Yi praised him. "Oh right, how's the preparation of the antidote?" "The raw materials have been purchased and it's already on the production line. Elder Guan is there to check, so there shouldn't be a problem," Fatty Lai said. "Ian, let me ask you something. Do you know anyone who is selling houses?" Lin Yi asked. "Selling houses? Why, boss, you want to buy a house?" Fatty Lai was stunned and asked. "It's Tang Yun's house. Didn't Zhao Qibing destroy the slums? I'm planning to buy a house now. Do you know any developers who are doing promotions or selling houses at special prices?" Lin Yi's question was vague, but he believed that with Fatty Lai's intelligence, he would be able to understand Lin Yi's meaning. Indeed, Fatty Lai understood. From the moment he heard that Tang Yun's family wanted to buy a house, he understood Lin Yi's meaning. Fatty Lai used to be in the real estate business. He had a few buildings in Songshan, and some of them were unsold or kept for his own use. Lin Yi couldn't directly tell Tang Yun's family that he wanted to buy a house. With Tang Yun's personality, she would definitely reject it. Mrs. Tang would definitely stay and there would be some conflict between the mother and daughter. That was the case with the 500,000 yuan from before. Tang Yun always wanted to return it to Lin Yi, but Mrs. Tang wouldn't take it out. So Lin Yi thought of an idea. He wanted Fatty Lai to find an excuse to sell the house to Mrs. Tang at a low price. That way, Mrs. Tang would benefit from it and Tang Yun wouldn't suspect anything. "Oh, there really is." Fatty Lai thought about it and said, "Just tell Auntie to contact me directly, I'll take care of it." Lin Yi smiled. Fatty Lai's ability to understand was quite good. He smiled and said, "There is. All right, I'll tell Auntie Wang to contact you." Mrs. Tang looked at Lin Yi eagerly. When she heard Lin Yi say there was, her eyes lit up and she almost laughed out loud. She didn't have much money on hand, so she wanted to save as much as possible. "Is there?" "Auntie Wang, my friend said that there really is a house with a special price promotion. You can contact him directly." Lin Yi smiled. "Ah, that's great. I'll go check it out tomorrow." Mrs. Tang was also in a hurry to move. She couldn't find a suitable house before, but it was actually a cheap house. Nowadays, housing prices weren't cheap. If she could get a special price house, it would be a great deal. Lin Yi told Mrs. Tang about Fatty Lai's contact. Tang Yun frowned slightly. She was a little suspicious. How could it be such a coincidence? Their family was just about to buy a house, and Lin Yi could find someone to buy a special price house. But she couldn't ask in front of her mother, so she could only keep her doubts in her heart. There were police guards at the door. Some people were happy, while others were sad. Chapter 696. Visiting Jian Wen, on the other hand, didn't think the same. He was so worried that his hair was turning white. There were policemen guarding the door, and it was impossible to call the tattooed guy or Zhong Pingliang. He didn't bring his phone with him, and he was afraid that the police would find out if he used the ward phone. The kidney trafficking organization that he worked so hard for was wiped out by the police just like that. Jian Wen was in a lot of pain, but that wasn't the most painful thing. The most painful thing was that one of his kidneys had been cut off, and if he wasn't mistaken, that kidney should be in Zhong Pingliang's body. Jian Wen didn't want to lose a kidney. He wanted to find Zhong Pingliang and get his kidney back, but he didn't dare to do so. Although a kidney was important, it was nothing compared to his life. If the police found out that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization, what awaited him wouldn't just be jail time. He might even be executed. And so, Jian Wen was stuck in a dilemma. All he could do was stay in the room, depressed. The police came to see him, and he had to pretend to be the victim, looking pitiful and pained. In truth, he was in pain, but he didn't expose himself. But he didn't hide his identity. Jian Wen wanted to make up a name, but it would be harder to explain if the police found out. He might as well tell them his real name. It would be safer. But what Jian Wen didn't expect was that two acquaintances came to visit him. Chen Yutian didn't expect Lingshan to call him. This made him excited, but at the same time, he was surprised. Why was Lingshan calling him? Lingshan didn't expect that Liu Wangli's victim list would include Jian Wen, one of the famous Songshan Four Young Masters. Of course, Lingshan didn't have a good impression of a playboy like this at all. This was also why she didn't like Chen Yutian at all. He only knew how to use his family background to bully others and act cool outside. What was left after he left his family's power? Although Chen Yutian had changed a lot these few years, Lingshan still didn't have any feelings for him. Their relationship was only slightly better than before. They could be considered as normal friends. So since they were normal friends, Lingshan still needed to inform Chen Yutian when something happened to Jian Wen. Plus, as much as she hated Jian Wen was one of the more important people in the city. She had to pay him a visit. Lingshan called Yutian to visit Jian Wen at the hospital. No matter what, Yutian was very happy that Lingshan asked him out alone. However, Chen Yutian felt strange that Jian Wen had one of his kidneys cut off by a kidney trafficking organization. Especially when he was drinking yesterday, he was fine. But today, he was in the hospital. This made Chen Yutian feel miserable. Lingshan was cold the whole way, her face cool and emotionless. Yutian had a lot of things he wanted to say, but he didn't know where to start. He tried to say something that didn't hurt, but Lingshan just ignored him. Yutian could only smile bitterly. From the looks of it, he really didn't have a big chance. Lingshan's words, in particular, made Yutian give up completely. He felt that he had no hope in this life. I've broken through the middle phase of the golden class, into the late phase. What's your strength now? Lingshan thanked Lin Yi from the bottom of her heart. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, she wouldn't have been able to break through. What else could Yutian do other than smile bitterly? He had just broken through to the early phase of the golden class. He wasn't even at the peak of the early phase, let alone the middle phase. The difference between him and Lingshan was like heaven and earth. Chen Yutian, I hope you can face yourself. The difference between us is too big. We're not suitable. Lingshan knew what Yutian was thinking, but she didn't expect him to still be thinking about her after so many years. Not suitable. Yutian sighed. Lingshan wasn't giving him a chance at all. You think you can beat me? Lingshan raised her head and stared at Yutian. I told you before, I don't like men who are weaker than me. When have you ever been strong in front of me? Not even once. You're always this weak, asking if I have time or not, asking if I have a chance. Look at what you've done. If you really have the strength, why don't you show it to me? Strong. Chen Yutian sighed once more. Can I be strong? You're a late phase, and I'm only an early phase. How am I supposed to be strong? Didn't you send me flying with one kick? Lingshan shook her head at Yutian's silence. Yutian was weaker than her, but he didn't have the heart to be strong. He didn't even dare think about it. Lingshan couldn't accept this kind of personality at all. Even if she did, she'd probably be laughed at when she brought him back to the Song house. People who didn't know better would think that she'd found a man who married into her family. If it were Lin Yi, he'd probably explode already. But if it were Lin Yi, would she dare ask him a stupid question like can you beat me? It seemed like she didn't dare to. Lin Yi would definitely return the Miss Braindead nickname to her. Lingshan felt wronged in her heart. She was such a strong person, how could she not have any temper after being stepped on by Lin Yi? Forget it, she still needed him to solve the case. Lingshan comforted herself. Jian Wen looked at Lingshan and Yutian who suddenly appeared in the ward. His heart was filled with despair. It seemed like the police outside didn't lie to him. The kidney trafficking organization was really done for. Otherwise, Lingshan wouldn't be standing here unscathed. But luckily, Lingshan didn't know that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization. Otherwise, he wouldn't be lying in the hospital now. Jian Wen, what happened to you? Why did you encounter something like this? Chen Yutian felt that this was unbelievable. The kidney trafficking organization wouldn't choose a young master like Jian Wen who drove a sports car when they chose their target, right? Weren't they afraid that things would get out of hand? Chapter 697. The urge to die. I see. Yutian started to sympathize with Jian Wen. His relationship failed and his kidney was cut off. One could imagine the pain in his heart. He turned to Lingshan. Did you catch the culprit? The mastermind, the tattooed guy, has been caught, but the surgeon committed suicide, Lingshan said faintly. Lingshan said faintly. I wonder if there's any hidden profit chain behind this criminal organization. The police are investigating further. What Lingshan said was information that could be obtained from the official channels. However, Jianwen was lying in the hospital room, so naturally, he didn't know much about these things. When he heard that the tattooed guy had been arrested and that the main surgeon had committed suicide, he felt dizzy. His own kidney trafficking company. The surgeon committed suicide. What was he going to do? He was still hoping that the surgeon could get his kidney back. Now it was all over. Even if he found Zhong Pingliang, he wouldn't be able to find the surgeon to do it. Which hospital would do it for him? He couldn't tell the police, otherwise, the police would ask him how he knew that Zhong Pingliang's kidney was his. Yu Tian saw Jian Wen's unnatural expression and thought that he was reminiscing about the past. He quickly comforted him. Jian Wen bro, I'm sorry for your loss. Luckily, you only lost one kidney. Your life is not in danger. Think of a way to get a kidney transplant in the future. Jian Wen could only smile bitterly. It wasn't just because he lost one kidney. He knew where his kidney was, but he couldn't get it back. This was the most painful thing. Plus, his kidney trafficking organization was his blood, sweat, and tears. Jian Wen, don't worry. The police will give you justice. The criminal has been arrested. We hope that you can testify in court. Lingshan came as a representative of the police. She didn't like Jian Wen, but he was still a victim. There were some things she had to say. All right. Jian Wen's heart was bleeding. He had to testify against his own criminal organization. Was there anyone else like her in the world? But Jian Wen didn't have a choice. He was afraid that Lingshan would suspect him, so he could only nod reluctantly. I'll be a witness, Jian Wen bro, how about this? I'll call little Shu and see if she's with Yao Yao. I'll ask them to come and see you too. Chen Yutian saw how pitiful Jian Wen was and felt pity for him. He thought that if Meng Yaro came to visit Jian Wen, maybe Jian Wen would feel better. Jian Wen was overjoyed. Chen Yutian knew him the best. As expected of one of the 4 young masters of Mount Songshan. You really are good to me. Meng Yaro would sympathize with me if she saw me like this, wouldn't she? At that time, the girl's maternal instincts would come out, and I might even have a chance. Meng Yaro may be cold, but she had a kind heart. Jian Wen knew that. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked Lin Yi to save him at the amusement park. As a result, Jian Wen approved of Meng Yaro coming to see him, but he was a little wary of Yushu. That girl was a pure troublemaker who loved to see the world in chaos. He reckoned that she'd probably clap her hands if she saw him in this state, wishing that he'd die. But what Yushu thought had nothing to do with Jian Wen. Jian Wen didn't like Yushu, and he didn't want a girl like her even if she threw herself at him. He wouldn't be able to live if he brought her back home. She might even castrate him in the middle of the night. So Jian Wen always kept his distance from Yushu. He didn't want to mess with her, but he couldn't offend her either. After all, she was Meng Yao's best friend. Then I'll have to trouble you. Yutian bro, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Jian Wen was touched. Yutian cared for him like this even when he was injured. It made him feel good. Yutian called his sister, Yushu. Yushu had just returned to the ward with Meng Yaro. She held Meng Yao's hand and looked at the serious expression on Meng Yao's face. She giggled, Yaro sis, what's wrong? Why do you look so unhappy? You should be very happy that you escaped death. You should be very happy that you survived. Look at me, every time I play Super Mario Bros. Wii with you, I'll cheer when I meet a boss and survive. Meng Yaro glared at Yushu. How can this be the same as a game? Besides, you're happy that Lin Yi saw you? Oh, but I'm not unhappy. So what if he saw me? I'll marry him in the future, won't he see me too? When we played 3P together, we saw everything. Yushu counted with her fingers, it's just a little earlier, so what? Meng Yaro rolled her eyes. She realized that she couldn't communicate with Yushu. She didn't know if this girl had the concept of chastity in her head. She acted like nothing had happened after Lin Yi saw her. She was living happily every day, happier than anyone else. Truly, fortune favors fools. Fools wouldn't think so much about gains and losses. When did I say I'm marrying him? Meng Yarrow hemphed. No, you and Lin Yi have to keep it a secret, or else I won't be able to get married in the future. Oh, don't worry, only the three of us will know. We won't let outsiders see or talk about our things. Yushu nodded. Meng Yarrow was speechless. She realized that Yushu didn't seem to understand her at all. Or was she purposely not understanding? Meng Yarrow suddenly realized that her best friend's brain was very strong. When she wanted to understand, her reaction was faster than anyone else's, but when she didn't want to understand, it was useless no matter what you said. Don't talk about this anymore. Meng Yarrow could only take a step back and warned Yushu. Okay, I won't talk about it anymore. Yushu nodded. Yarrow sis, what are we going to do now? It's so boring in the hospital, I don't want to stay here anymore. The smell of disinfectant is making me dizzy. Chapter 698. Super good news. Where do you want to go? Meng Yarrow asked. Why don't we go home and play hide and seek? Yushu suggested. Hide and seek? Are you in heat? Do you want to be sandwiched by the fence again and let Lin Yi touch your boobs? Meng Yarrow rejected Yushu's suggestion. There was only so much space in the house. It was fine to play hide and seek occasionally, but it was boring to play it often. All right. What do you want to play then? Yushu changed the topic, not even blushing as if Meng Yarrow wasn't talking about her at all. How would I know? Why don't we go home and play video games? Meng Yarrow wanted to play games after hearing Yushu talking about video games. Okay. Yushu nodded. She liked to play anything. As they were talking, Yushu's phone rang. Yushu looked at the caller ID and saw that it was her brother. She quickly picked it up. Bro. Shu, where are you? Yutian's voice came from the other side of the phone. Yarrow sis and I are at the hospital. Bro, what's up? Yushu said, if you're free, come and play games with us. Yutian was taken aback when Yushu said that they were in the hospital. He thought that they were sick, but since Yushu said that they were playing games, it was obvious that they were fine. He didn't ask further and said, Jianwen drank last night and fell asleep on the road. One of his kidneys was cut off by the criminals. If you and Yarrow are free, why don't you come and see him? We're at Songshan's First People's Hospital, 3rd Inpatient Department, room 218. Holy shit. Yushu's eyes widened and she clapped her hands. Yarrow sis, let me tell you some super good news. Jianwen's kidney was cut off, just like Zhong Pingliang. Your pursuers are so pitiful, all of them had their kidneys cut off. Yutian was speechless. This girl of his was too fierce. Even if she didn't like Jianwen, she didn't have to cheer like that, right? If Jianwen heard it, wouldn't he be pissed to death? Luckily, he was far away and Jianwen couldn't hear the conversation. Jianwen? His kidney was removed. Meng Yarrow paused. She didn't look as happy as Yushu, but she didn't look sad, either. Jianwen and her were drifting apart, and they weren't the big brother next door anymore. Meng Yarrow shook her head. As expected, people couldn't go back to the past when they grew up. Shu, you and Yarrow should come and take a look, right? No matter what, Jianwen is a friend from the past. We have a good relationship. Yutian said. Oh, okay. Yarrow and I don't have anything to do anymore, we can go visit him. It'll be fun. Yushu agreed after some thought. Chen Yutian didn't know what to say. Fun? Jianwen losing one of his kidneys? Was that fun? However, Chen Yutian couldn't do anything about this weird sister of his. The old man spoiled her and treated her like the treasure of the family. From a certain angle, his sister was indeed very cute. Yarrow sis, we have a place to play now. Let's go visit Jianwen in the hospital. His kidney was cut off. It's so fun. Yushu hung up and said to Meng Yarrow, do you think it was Shield Bro who did it? Lin Yi. Meng Yarrow was startled. Could it be Lin Yi? Why did Lin Yi cut off Jianwen's kidney? Was it because Jianwen wanted to chase her and confess to her during dinner yesterday? It didn't seem possible. Lin Yi didn't even like her. Why would he cut off Jianwen's kidney? It might be possible if she ordered him to do it, but she didn't order him to do it. Meng Yaro and Yushu told Pengzhan that they were going to visit Jianwen in Songshan's Songshan First Hospital. Pengzhan was worried about the two of them going out alone. After all, the coma incident had just ended. Pengzhan was like a frightened bird. He asked Forbert to send them off. In the car, Yushu called Linyi, "Shield bro, where are you?" "I'm at Songshan's Songshan First Hospital." Linyi picked up Yushu's call in front of Tang Yun. Since Tang Yun already knew about his relationship with Meng Yaro and Yushu, there was no need to hide it anymore. "Oh, that's perfect. Yaro and I are going to visit Jianwen at Songshan's Songshan First Hospital. You can come with us," Yushu said happily when she heard that Lin Yi was going to Songshan First Hospital. "Visit Jianwen?" Lin Yi was startled. He thought that this kid's kidney was cut off. Didn't that mean that his kidney was given to Zhong Pingliang? Would that be a match? "Yeah, Jianwen's kidney was cut off," Yushu said happily. "Come and protect us." "What if Jianwen goes crazy and beats me and Yaro sis up?" Lin Yi was speechless. Jianwen's kidney was cut off. How would he have the strength to beat people up? Beat them up? However, Lin Yi knew Yushu's personality. He said, "Okay, call me when you arrive." "Okay, we'll be there soon. Just wait for us at the entrance of the third hospital," Yushu said. After Yushu hung up, Lin Yi saw Tang Yun looking at him. He smiled. "Meng Yaro and Yushu are here. They are going to visit a patient. They asked me to go with them." "Oh, go then. There's nothing else here." Tang Yun wanted to go shopping with Lin Yi after leaving the hospital. The weather was getting hotter and hotter. Tang Yun wanted to buy a pair of shorts. She wanted to go to the night market, but she couldn't do that today. If there's something else, I'll come back later." Lin Yi saw that Tang Yun wanted to say something but stopped. It seemed like she had something to tell him. "Okay, let's see the time," Tang Yun said happily. Lin Yi said goodbye to Mr. Tang and Mrs. Tang before leaving for the third hospital department. He saw Li Fu's Bentley at the bottom of the building, arriving just in time to see Li Fu's car. Meng Yaro and Yushu got off the car hand in hand. Yushu waved at Lin Yi. Miss only glanced at Lin Yi indifferently as a greeting. Lin Yi knew what Miss was thinking. He didn't want to argue with her. He smiled. "You're visiting a patient. Don't you want to bring some gifts?" "Oh, we need to celebrate. I'll go buy some firecrackers." Yushu thought for a while and said seriously. Chapter 699. Angered again. "You're right. Let's have a big meal to celebrate later." Yushu nodded, giving up on the idea of buying firecrackers. The three of them entered the first inpatient department and went up to the second floor. When they arrived at the door of room 218, they saw a policeman patrolling nearby. Seeing that the three of them were about to enter the ward, someone immediately stopped them. "May I ask who you are looking for?" Yutian came with Lingshan, so naturally, the police let them pass. But Lin Yi, Meng Yaro, and Yushu, although they looked harmless, couldn't be taken lightly. "We're here to see Jianwen," Lin Yi said. He didn't expect Jianwen to be protected by the police. "Jianwen is one of the victims we're protecting. May I know your names?" "I'll have to ask for the names of the victims and their superior," the police officer said. "Who's your superior? Lingshan? Or Liu Wangli?" Lin Yi didn't expect it to be so troublesome to look after Jianwen. "You know Captain Song and Captain Liu?" The police officer paused. "Captain Song is inside." "Wait a moment, I'll go get her." After hearing that Lin Yi not only knew Liu Wangli, but also Lingshan, the police officer didn't dare to delay and went into the room after informing Lin Yi. "Captain Song, someone wants to see Jianwen, and he knows you," the police officer reported. "Knows me?" Lingshan paused. "I'll go take a look." Lingshan saw Lin Yi, Meng Yaro, and Yushu when she came out of the room. Lingshan was curious about Lin Yi visiting Jianwen. Did Lin Yi know Jianwen? Lin Yi. Lingshan looked at Lin Yi, her expression a little unnatural because Meng Yaro and Yushu were there too. But she recovered quickly. What was there to be afraid of? They weren't Lin Yi's girlfriends. What did her relationship with Lin Yi have to do with them? "Why is Jianwen being protected?" Lin Yi asked. He's one of the victims of the kidney trafficking organization. We need him to testify, Lingshan said. Do you know him? Yes, but not close, Lin Yi shrugged, finding it funny. Jian Wen testifying against his own organization? Although Jian Wen was the mastermind, all the evidence had been erased. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time talking to Lingshan. Lingshan nodded and followed Lin Yi into the room. She looked like a bully, not daring to pass Lin Yi. No one else noticed this detail, not even Meng Yaro and Yu Shu. Yu Tian, on the other hand, didn't think much about it. He didn't believe that Lingshan would get bullied at all. Shu, Yao Yao. Lin Yi, you're here. Yu Tian said Lin Yi's name unnaturally. He respected Lin Yi very much. He called Lin Yi Instructor Eagle instead of Lin Yi's name. Yu Shu looked at her brother and then at Lingshan. Her face fell. She couldn't understand why her brother was so stubborn. Lingshan obviously didn't like him, and he was still chasing after her. How embarrassing. Lingshan, this fox, was also a troublemaker. She should be taught a lesson. Chem. Yu Shu's eyes lit up. She had an idea. Jian Wen was overjoyed to see Meng Yaro. Yu Shu, on the other hand, was automatically ignored by Jian Wen. But when he saw Lin Yi behind Yu Shu, his face froze up. Lin Yi knew that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization. He was going to remove Lin Yi's kidney this morning, but it turned out to be him. However, Lin Yi hated him. Could it be that Lin Yi saved Lingshan? With that thought, Jian Wen's hatred for Lin Yi grew even thicker, and so did his fear. He was afraid that Lin Yi would reveal his identity to Lingshan, and he was angry that Lin Yi ruined his hard work. However, he didn't consider that if he didn't capture Lin Yi and Lingshan, his kidney trafficking organization wouldn't be destroyed so quickly. Jian Wen thought about it carefully and let out a breath of relief. So what if Lin Yi told Lingshan? There was no evidence. The tattooed guy would definitely hold on and wouldn't sell him out. The only person who knew his identity, Dr. Wang, had committed suicide. Who else could prove that he was the head of the kidney trafficking organization? Even if he refused to admit it, Lingshan wouldn't be able to do anything to him. People from house and weren't easy to bully. He believed that Lingshan wouldn't dare to do anything to him without evidence. Jian Wen felt relieved after thinking about this. He pretended to be fake and said, Lin Yi bro, you are here too? You still remember me at this time? I will treat you to a meal when I recover. Jian Wen had to do this to maintain his image in Meng Yao's heart. Otherwise, Meng Yaro would think that he was a narrow-minded person. Oh, Jian Wen bro, you lost a kidney, can you still recover? You won't die, right? Yu Shu didn't wait for Lin Yi to speak and spoke first. What? Jian Wen was stunned. His face turned red from Yu Shu's words. He cursed in his heart. Motherfucker, would you die if you lost a kidney? Can't you not piss me off? However, Jian Wen didn't dare to scold Yu Shu. He didn't dare to offend House Chen. Plus, Chen Yutian was in the ward. Plus, Yu Shu was Meng Yao's best friend. If he scolded her, he wouldn't be able to recover. Shu, don't talk nonsense. Losing a kidney will only affect your health. You won't die. Chen Yutian couldn't do anything to his sister. He could only explain to her. Oh, I see. I think so too. Yu Shu nodded. I heard that a man is not a complete man if he lost a kidney. Jian Wen bro, your dream of having sex with Yaro Yaro sis is gone. Plus, you won't be able to have a threesome. What? Jian Wen's face turned purple. He didn't expect Yu Shu to be so evil. She touched his sore spot. He shouldn't have let her come. Did she really want to embarrass him in front of Meng Yaro? Shu, don't talk nonsense. Even if he is a man, I won't have sex with him. Meng Yaro frowned. She felt that Yu Shu was going overboard. It was as if she agreed to have sex with Jian Wen. Meng Yao's words, however, had a different meaning to them. Jian Wen felt a chill run down his spine. Even if he was a man, was he not a man now? Chapter 700. Lingshan frowned. Lingshan frowned. Meng Yaro, Yu Shu, please watch your words. Jian Wen's a victim, and his injuries and emotions aren't stable yet. Please don't provoke him. How did I provoke him? Yushu didn't have a good impression of Lingshan. I'm just stating the truth. My brother said that losing a kidney will affect his health. Yutian smiled bitterly as he lowered his head. On one side was his sister, and on the other side was Lingshan. Who should he help? Who could he help? How? Lingshan glared at Yutian. What are you standing there for? Go get the doctor. I'll go right now. Yutian nodded and went to get the doctor. Yushu was about to explode. What was wrong with this brother of hers? He was like a mouse in front of a cat in front of Lingshan, so careful and careful. Why was he so soft? She was his sister, and he didn't even care about what that fox said. He even went to get the doctor for Lingshan. Bro, you can't go. Yushu stood in front of Yutian, staring at him angrily. She insulted your sister. How could you let her bully me like that? Shoo. Yutian didn't know what to do. Lingshan wasn't bullying Yushu, was she? She was just being strict with her words. As expected, his unreliable. Yushu was disappointed to see Yutian in a dilemma. Shield Bro was still the best. He would always help her and stand by her side. Yes, she would only be good to Shield Bro in this life. Even her own brother couldn't do it. Lin Yi was surprised by Yutian's actions, but from Yushu's reaction, he could guess what was going on. Yutian was Lingshan's pursuer. Someone was pursuing Miss Song. Shoo, I'll go get the doctor. Yutian saw the disappointment in his sister's eyes, but there was nothing he could do. Lingshan was the one who told him to get the doctor, and Jianwen was unconscious. He didn't want anything to happen to him. No. Yushu disagreed. This wasn't as simple as finding a doctor anymore. This was a battle between Lingshan and Lingshan. Yushu really didn't understand why was her brother like Lingshan so much. Her brother was very outstanding, okay? Although he wasn't as good as Shield Bro, he was still the eldest grandson of the Chen family. What kind of girl couldn't he get? Yushu and Lingshan had always been on good terms since they were young, and that was why Yushu was targeting Lingshan. Meng Yaro couldn't stand it anymore, but she knew Shu's personality. She might look like a fool, but when she was really stubborn, no one could stop her. This was the reason why Shu stayed by her side when she fainted. Meng Yaro was very touched. Yushu's words and suggestions sometimes made her feel awkward, like mistresses and threesomes, but Meng Yaro knew that Yushu really didn't want to be separated from her. She wanted to be with her forever. Lin Yi didn't expect Yushu and Lingshan to fight like this, but Yutian was indeed a little weak, and Lin Yi couldn't stand it anymore. He said faintly, "No need, Jianwen won't die for now." Yutian opened his mouth, but he could only bite the bullet and say, "Okay." Lin Yi was the person Yutian admired the most, and it was because of Lin Yi that he changed. Otherwise, he would still be a spoiled brat, hanging out with Jianwen every day. Lingshan, on the other hand, looked at Yutian, surprised. Lin Yi's words worked this well. Why did Yutian agree to it so easily? Lingshan felt like she had lost face, and Yutian didn't listen to her with her strong personality, but when she remembered that it was Lin Yi, she calmed down immediately. She could only blame her bad luck for being bullied by Lin Yi. Would she dare to complain? She didn't at the moment, but today, Yutian made Lingshan look at him in a different light. For the first time, he was strong. It was a pity that Lingshan didn't like him. Changing his personality wouldn't change her feelings. Yushu paused, looking at her brother in disbelief. He didn't even listen to her, but he listened to Shield Bro. Yutian, on the other hand, was surprised. Lingshan didn't insist on going to the doctor anymore. Lin Yi didn't say anything else. He walked to Jianwen's bedside and pressed on his head a couple of times. Jianwen woke up immediately. Jianwen jumped when he saw Lin Yi pressing on his head. Was Lin Yi going to kill him? But then he remembered that Lingshan and Yutian were here. Lin Yi wouldn't dare to kill him. Of course, if only Lin Yi and Yushu were here, Jianwen wouldn't feel at ease. That girl would definitely work with Lin Yi to kill him. It was too scary. Thank you, Brother Lin. My body isn't too good, and I fainted. Jianwen thanked Lin Yi. You're welcome. We're even now, Lin Yi said faintly. Jianwen paused, but he understood what Lin Yi meant. Lin Yi was referring to how he knocked him out before, and how he woke him up now. Of course, Only Jian Wen could understand what he was saying. Oh,